Hey, and welcome to the show, Immersion RPG. That's where we're at tonight, and tonight we're talking about our feelings. No, I'm joking. We're not talking about our feelings.
No one needs to hear about our feelings.
Lord O'Chaos has been lurking because he wants to hear us talk about our feelings. We're all a little bit maybe sleep deprived or full of caffeine, so it should be an interesting night as we explore the Fold. We'll start on this side. Let's go ahead and introduce ourselves and our characters.
I am Nick Sadoff. I am playing Draxu and Silvertongue, the gnome bard.
Hey everybody, I am Linnea Springer, and I am playing Aelin Swordhand, the human paladin.
Oh, I'm next. My name is Justin Morton, and I am playing Thrax Sixian Fellhorn, the pretentious noble.
I'm Autumn Fellman, and I am playing Alex Silverdown.
Let me change that name really quick.
Is it easy?
I am JoeyB, and I will be your storyteller for the night. I am playing... Well, I'm playing quite a few things, and we'll see how that goes. But
Kevin.
When we Kevin, I'm playing Kevin tonight.
The best wench ever named Witch.
Samantha.
Hey, look, you guys can lurk all you want as long as you're here. Thanks for coming. When we last left our hunters, they were on a monorail headed to the council building in the capital city of Fove, not knowing what to expect when they got there. And we'll go ahead and start off. So as you guys approach this large tower, it appears to be 6 or 7 tiers. Think, old Tower of Babel, stacked tower. And you pull in to this amazing hall with stained windows on one side and an offloading ramp on the other, like you'd see in a typical subway or train station. And the doors open up, and the guards say, "You may enter." And they say, as you step out, "Wait here."
All right then.
He said, the guard says, "Your guide will be along soon. Just please don't wander far."
Not a problem.
Can we wander a little bit?
Please don't wander at all. Maybe I
Okay.
should rephrase myself.
Always good to be very clear with that one.
Yeah.
So as you guys are sitting there waiting, all of a sudden this little 3-foot tall clockwork golem starts to walk up to you, and it kind of walks up and it waves.
Draxoon, look, a relative.
Aww. Yeah, that's a little tall even for me.
And he kind of motions for you to come with him.
Well, follow along.
Is this wandering or?
The guard says, "That is your guide."
Oh.
And he kind of looks
Right.
at it with a little bit of disdain. And it, waves at him with a creepy clockwork smile on its face. And it starts to walk down the hall.
Kind of looks like it's always having a stroke.
Oh my. Well, I'll follow it.
I'll follow suit.
So you guys are walking down these fairly gothic hallways with large arching doors, and they seem to go on forever, and he takes random left turns and random right turns, and you kind of lose your sense of direction as you're walking around this large labyrinth of hallways. And before too long, all of a sudden you hear a door slam open, and out comes a woman that you might recognize. And she says, "I don't know why we have to put up with this. We lost one hunter already, and here they are bickering more." And the old man comes out after and says, "Now, Lute, calm down." And they stop as soon as they see you, and they're like, "Oh." And Lute apologizes, says, "I'm sorry." But you notice she doesn't have her mask on anymore. But her skin is just as fair as her mask was, and she's just as beautiful. Like, there's no reason for him to wear the mask. And she says, "Oh, I didn't know you were here. I'm sorry for my temper."
Oh, it's fine. The best of us can always lose our temper occasionally.
And the old man says, "I'm glad you guys made it."
Is this the same old man that... Okay. From previous encounters?
Yes.
Well, we are here, reporting as requested.
Hello.
What was your name again? My name is Draxu and Silvertongue. It's a
I'm
pleasure.
your boss. Let's just keep it there.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Are we not allowed to know your name?
Well, that's for me to know and you to find out. Follow me.
Well then.
And Luke follows with him. And she's whispering, like, under her breath to him, and he's like, Lute, you just need to be quiet. Calm down. We'll take care of this. You can tell she's, like, really upset. And they lead you down more hallways, and they open a door, and you come to what appears to be some sort of, like, meeting table. It's a large table filled with food and drinks, candle lit, and he says, have a seat. We need to talk.
Right, take a seat.
Okie doke.
So,
I carefully try to drag a chair out that's twice my size, making dragging noises across the floor and climb up into it.
Lute sits down next to the old man. The old man sits kind of at the end of the table, at the head of the table. And Lute sits kind of off to the corner, but not quite at the corner, like not right next to him. And he says, how were your travels?
Excellent. We got to enjoy quite an interesting festival.
And then we got on a
our way.
boat.
Oh, and then we got on a
I
boat.
could tell
yes.
by the bar tabs you guys racked up.
Oh.
Oh.
Someone actually pays those. I wonder how
Yes,
that worked.
we pay them.
Oh.
I'm glad you had a good time.
Sorry.
We did.
Oh god, I had so much fun.
I think we made some good contacts there, so.
Good. I suppose they'll treat you well in the future.
I definitely made a good contact there.
Some of us better than others, yes.
Like a business contact.
Okay.
Yes, a business contact.
It's all
that was
perspective,
exactly
dear.
it.
However you want to look at it.
Well, I mean, you always have to look up at
The
everything.
oldest business, indeed.
Joe, move a little to the right. Sorry, I just saw that. Are we good now? Yeah, so he says, as you guys sit down, he says, so, Lute here is a little bit upset about the loss of your comrade, as to be expected. And the council here is going through some changes. But I want to make one thing very clear before we get involved with this council. The council thinks that they run us. The truth is we decide what happens. Am I clear?
Crystal?
Super duper.
Yes.
There are forces at play in this world that you may not understand yet. We are the peacekeepers. And sometimes things have to be done that we may not like in order for that peace to be kept. You see, as it stands, yesterday we buried one of the council members. And this is the council of the state. You guys would know this. Not just a city council, it's of the whole state. Okay? And that means we are down to an even number.
Ah.
Well, that's odd.
Which member passed away?
That does not matter. He was old. There was no foul play involved. I already looked into it. However, there are two people vying for power. Two well-known people that the public has interest in that are to be voted in the next couple of days.
Politics.
Politics. One is Christiana Ashglade. You'll meet her later. And the other is Malados.
No last name?
He is tiefling, beastkin, demonkin, whatever you want to call them.
We're referred to as Beastkin.
Well, whatever floats your boat. I'm sorry, I do not have time to joke today.
My handwriting is awful. If I'd known you wanted to copy, I'd have been carefuler. My penmanship.
I am trusting that you will find out which one is the best suited candidate. I have no time to handle this myself. And as I have chosen you, I trust you will be able to handle this matter for me. And Lute says, but what are we going to do about them thinking they have so much... They sent Narakis to his death. It was their fault. And he says, silent, Lute. And she looks down. And he says, do you have any questions?
What? Go ahead.
It was my understanding that the hunters worked for
The councils?
the people,
Well,
which were represented by the councils.
we have the people's best interest in mind.
Of
But we work
course.
for nobody. Except for you work for me.
And who
That's
polices
really
the police?
Well, if we act right, do we need police?
Well, I would hope not.
Are you worried about needing police?
This is just super complicated. I mean, I understand the basics, but
It's not that complicated. He gives me an order, I hear an adventure, and off I go.
I suppose that's one way to look at it.
yeah,
Absolutely.
that's
It's
it
pretty
for-
simple, boss. What do you need done?
Mr.
That's
Boss.
the attitude I
Should we
like.
just call you Mr. Boss?
You can call me whatever you like.
Kevin.
He slides out a piece of paper in front of each one of you. In here is outlined a contract. What I have told you today must remain secret. And you know the penalty for hunters if they breach contracts. It is not a quick death. This must never be spoken of outside of our company, and you know who I trust, because you've seen who I trust. Look around the room. You work for me now. If you choose not to, keep your signature off that piece of paper. As you look over the paper, it's a basic non-disclosure agreement. It just says, there's no you're selling your soul to anybody or anything like that. It's
There's
just-
nothing arcane
Yeah,
about this
no,
document.
no,
It's not like you're a
This is,
guy.
look,
Oh.
this is manners of a hunter guild. This is not to go beyond the people that are in this room. If you do, you will be persecuted to the full extent of the law.
If we sign this, will we be under any kind of
Uh,
case?
I will sign.
I'm sorry.
Or will we be under any sort of magical arcane
No.
case if we sign?
No.
Okay, then I will sign.
This is just a simple agreement that you'll work for me.
I sign up.
Alec?
I don't actually have a signature. I'll just write my name. And I sign it. I mean,
Interesting. And he pulls back the paper and he says, Lute, show them around. And he walks off, and as he walks through the door, he disappears into that mist. And she says,
Real
so,
mystery, that one.
I think he's a god.
I think
A
he's just
god?
powerful.
I think he's my boss.
I mean, yeah, but he doesn't have a name, or he does, but he's not going to tell us.
Alec, all the gods died 10 years ago. It was quite the blessing, really. Significantly less differences between the people now.
it has
Unless
made
you
for a
have
better
horns.
world.
Or unless you're a hunter.
As Lute pulls back her hair for the first time, you notice horns on her also. But they're not like tiefling horns.
Just like little pokey horns.
Welcome to chat, everybody. And she says, where should we start?
Well, I would think if our job then is to find out who's going to be best to take over on the council.
Just by their names, who should we think is the best? I trust a person with a last name. I mean,
I'm not voting in
makes
on that one.
I trust Beyonce with my life, and she only has one. So
Beyonce, wasn't she that
I'm-
dwarven
I
bard?
can't follow the logic. Yeah, I can't follow the logic over there on that one.
Lute says, the council's meeting right now if we would like to introduce ourselves. Or yourselves.
It's probably a very good place to start.
Very well. And she walks out the door and she starts walking down the long labyrinth. Right as that happens, the clockwork golem comes with drinks and looks around like he's late.
I'm not going to drink
And
anymore.
just puts them on the table.
No more
I,
alcohol for
I
me.
will I will take a drink and gently pat the clockwork gnome on top of the head.
He looks very appreciative.
As a clockwork
Well
man
done, little
can.
one.
Lute,
Yes.
it was my understanding that the people of the state elected council members.
The people do elect council members. We just make sure who they vote for.
So, like, bribe them?
Too
Or
real.
tell them who to vote?
Direct the common interest of the populace, I think,
am
would be
being
the...
sarcastic.
That is exactly what we do. If you can't stomach it, I can always ask him to burn your contract.
No, we will do what we need to do.
I
It's
have a
part
pretty
of
high
being a
constitution
hunter.
for adventure.
Very well. And she starts walking again.
Well, off we go. Yep,
Following
here
down
we
the
go.
hall.
So as you guys, again, through this labyrinth, gothic hallways, you come to a large double door. and it opens almost with like a of steam as you come close. And as it opens up, you see in front of you a large risen bench with 5 seats across it and 4 people sitting. And along the left and right side are more fancy wood risen seats and very ornate wooden floor with marble mixed in through it. And you see the council kind of bickering and quiet up on the stand. And Luke announces herself and says, "We are back." And they stop and they come around and come down to the floor and say, one little dwarf with long blonde hair and a long blonde beard, very Fabio looking until you see his face is oddly awkward. And he says, "Who did you bring with you?" And Lute says, "I will let them introduce themselves."
Well, hi. I am Draxoon Silvertongue. It is a pleasure to meet you.
"And your friends?"
I'll let them introduce themselves.
Sorry, I'm trying to put in my information so I know what to say.
And another about 6 or 7 foot tall orc, very well dressed with a pipe, says, "Have you forgotten your manners? We are the council."
Orc or half orc?
Orc.
Alright then. Aelin will bob a small bow and say, "Of course not, gentlemen and ladies. Aelin Swordhand, originally of Cecilon."
I'll just awkwardly lower my head a little bit and back up. I'm a half-elf Alec. My name isn't half-elf Alec. I mean, yeah.
Half elf. Alec, the orc says.
Yeah, that
And
works.
he takes a big puff on his pipe and shakes his head. And another person approaches, and he's kind of heavy set, and he's got a lot of scars on his face. And he says, "That's 3, but I sense 4 of you."
Thrax, noble fourth-born of the house Fellhorn.
And the man kind of looks, like, kind of past you, and he says, "A tiefling, a half-elf, a gnome, and a human? Is that what I sense?"
Well, you got the gnome part right.
Of the people, for the people.
Hoorah.
And a 4th half-elf steps down. She's got a mohawk, this teal of color, and she's got, as she walks down, you notice something kind of awkward, and it takes you a second. Everybody roll a perception check for me. There's something awkward about her, and it's hard for you to place at first.
Nope. It's a 4.
12.
What am I adding to this?
Your wisdom modifier.
Gotcha. So 9.
10.
You notice that she has an extra finger. And she says, "So you are the chosen? The elect that the old man has been telling us about?"
That's what we've been told.
"Very well," she says. "I am Finduilin Cromwell, but you may call me Finn.
Nice to meet you, Finn.
My short friend over there is Gammon Flint Mace. You can call him whatever he likes.
Tall from my perspective.
He might actually enjoy that, hun."
What was his name?
Gammon
Flint
Mace.
Mace.
The well-dressed merchant over there is Orcuth Gorecleaver.
Whoa. Okay, this was the orc.
Yeah. And finally, my blind friend is Sadon Ashglade. We are the council. Well, for now. And the little dwarf kind of laughs about it. And the Sadon, the human that's blind, he kind of walks his way towards you and says, "You see, we are in a little bit of a dilemma. Our 4th our fifth has passed away, and we need to elect a new one.
So we hear.
And we're here to help.
Good. Then you can interview our potential candidates, I suppose, and find out who works best.
We are happy to help however we can.
I would like to make an insight check to see the tone of potential candidates, whether or not that was discussed or discussed in the candidates or discussed in us or
Just general disgust.
just general disgust. That is, I'm not proficient, so that is 18.
So you can tell that he has a sincerity in his voice that he wants this done. He's not sure if you're the right people to do it from the tone. And you can definitely tell that as far as the candidates go, he might have a side that he's voting for.
And this was
That was Sadon.
Sidon. Okay.
And as he's saying that, Orc got and kind of interrupts and says, "There's no question it should be Christiana." And Gaiman kind of like stomps his feet and says, "That is true." And Findulin says, "I don't know. She's just too honest. There's something wrong there."
Isn't that a good thing? Honesty is the best policy?
Not in politics.
Not always in politics, unfortunately.
So, Fendulin, are you to say that you'd rather have a tiefling on the council?
Well, we're a progressive city. I see no problem with it.
Do you feel that Malados was his name? Was that?
Yes.
All right. Do you feel that Malados is a stronger candidate, or is it just that you dislike Christiana?
Well, she seems to be hiding something, and Melados is much more experienced.
He's old.
Is he old? Or just...
Oh, he's seen many moons, yes.
All right.
For a tiefling, I suppose. I don't know.
They can live up to 180.
Well, then he's about midlife, then.
I can't help but to notice, council members, that Christiana shares a common family name with our blind Sedom.
Yes, she does. He says,
Relation?
well, I don't talk about that side of the family.
Yes, but for the sake of public view, perhaps we should avoid the image of nepotism.
It's very clear, the separation between our families. She's just chosen to take my last name for the political rise.
And yet she's too honest.
She is a very
To see what you find the liars
optimistic, happy-go-lucky type of person.
We could find out.
to me. We could find out. I'm game if you are. I don't care for liars, so I don't mind. I understand the need to control the truth at times, but flat lying is...
Workuth walks up and he's like, "Let me tell you a story, young one." And he starts rambling off about some orcish fable about a scorpion and a rabbit crossing a river.
And Aiden listens.
And Gammon's like, "He talks a lot."
Just inside your head, please stop.
Sedom,
Please.
we've gotten everyone else's preferences for the candidates, but who
Mine
is it?
should be clear. I would not have her in office anywhere.
Indeed.
Can you give us some insight, as you are, however distantly related?
She was my ex-wife.
Aha!
Any
The
more
truth will
insight than
out.
that, I would prefer not to talk about.
Understandable.
I don't have any dirt on her, if that's what you're asking.
No, I did not mean that. I just wanted to know background, if there were things that you knew, if there was something.
I'm gonna need another drink. Where's that clockwork guy?
As you say that, this like clockwork robot comes like the side of the little wooden chairs opens up like shh, and a little clockwork guy comes out with his little tray.
Well, thank you very much. I'm going to need a couple drinks today, I think.
What
With
is
all
my
this going
purpose?
So then
Serve
just sit back
butter.
and clean my flute and listen and observe
With
to
the
the
alcohol?
drama in politics.
The more information we have about the two people, the more...
True.
Yeah.
Are there other reasons other than her obviously having a formal relation?
As you ask, you notice Orca like talking to the clockwork, telling him stories, and like puffing on his pipe.
He's adorable. I just want to pat him on the head.
And
So
Sadon says, well, perhaps Finn can tell you more.
Please don't ever pat
And
me
he
on the
says,
head.
Not you.
I grow wary, and he walks off. And Finn says, look, I thought you hunters knew how to do the job. Why don't you just interview them? We're already on the council. It's not up to us.
No, it's not, but any information that we can have going into it will help us make a better informed decision.
Okay? And she writes down a couple addresses and says, here. They've never been investigated for anything. They're clean.
All right?
Good.
Besides, a contributing factor is their ability of cohesion amongst the remainder of the council.
True.
If we find somebody who is going to be opposed to everyone else, though that does create a more broad dichotomy of choices, it does also create conflict.
Finn says, she looks up, she says, look, the reason we work in odd numbers is because we don't want everything to be even. We don't want it to be 50-50. We want a broad spectrum of people represented. Whoever comes in is none of my concern. We will work as a council and keep this land together and keep peace as we have for the last 100 whatever years it's been.
That's a good thought.
Well, so we'll be off to investigate.
Let's go.
Interview.
Interview.
Investigate sounds rude.
And Gottman says, I like investigations.
We'll be like secret agents.
And then Orca goes, have I ever told you the story about the viper in the pit?
I thought it was a
And
lamb.
he kind of like looks off again and goes, and looks at the clockwork and goes over and starts talking to him again.
Right. Shall we be off?
Oh,
We got addresses.
Thanks,
our
Branchford.
bosses.
Yeah, let's... I think we're ready as we're going to be.
Let's go.
So, as you leave, Lute says, just follow this hallway. It will take you back to the station. The station will take you then to the main part of town. If you need anything, she hands you another address. She says, show your stones, and you'll be welcome.
Lute,
Right.
how familiar are you with this council?
All I know is they're a pain in my you-know-what.
Not a fan of
Oh.
politics?
No, I am not.
Are any of them practiced in the arcane?
I honestly am not aware. I know Melidos has seen some battle during the war.
No, pardon me, Lute. I mean the ones that we just spoke with.
Oh, no, not that I'm aware of.
So, Lute, why do you wear the mask?
Had to ask.
I had to.
Subtle. That was super subtle.
Well, I may have a bit of a past.
Ooh.
So when I'm in here, I feel safe. Out there, I don't.
That makes sense.
Anything else I can do for you?
I think we're ready.
Ready to go interview.
Just wish us luck. Or
I
don't.
will be performing later at the Rusty Shovel if you would like to.
The rusty shovel.
Draxoon, that is a treat that you would be remiss to miss.
Is she good?
You can say that.
Phenomenal.
Do you just...
You might end up swinging by there anyways.
Narakis might have said worth dying for.
Oh,
She
too
looked
soon.
at you.
Ha ha
She looks at you with,
ha.
like, in her eyes, like almost light on fire.
That's excellent.
It's almost
And
let
she
him.
shakes her head and kind of like breathes deep and walks away.
Before she walks away, I'd like to take out Narakis' hunter sigil and actually hand that to her.
It just exploded.
Sorry about my kazoo. It just went off on its own.
She looks down at it, and
That's what his
you can
thunderstone
almost see a
sounds
tear
like.
run down her eyes. She says, "Thank you," and she puts it in a bag and starts to walk again.
Didn't you only know her for like 2 days?
Listen to Rackus must have been a charming fella.
He was.
Oh, gosh.
Well, he was definitely no you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome. I think that was a compliment. Anyway, let's go!
Yay!
So you guys have a couple options. You can. What he's got here is a shopping list. While you're in town, you can shop. We're not going to do shopping on air, but there is a full catalog of wares in there.
Okay.
Okay.
No shopping episodes.
You can go see Christiana. You can go to Malados. You can go ask around the pubs, whatever you want to do.
Let's go to Malados.
Whatever. Whichever one's closest to where we are.
Before we go interview the candidates, I'd rather know who it is that we're interviewing.
The tiefling.
No, I meant start from the bottom of the pyramid and work our way to the top.
So we have a little bit of knowledge about them before we get there. Or
Right.
a little bit of perception of what kind of people they are perceived as by the people.
Which I was trying to glean from the council.
That's
Also-
a corrupted bias.
Alec,
Of you.
I don't think you're wrong on that.
All community is corrupted by us.
I mean, well, and she's his ex. Of course, it's going to be corrupt.
Very biased when they're exes.
a word of advice. Tiefling is a racial slur.
I thought cricket was a racial slur.
No, that's a sport in Britain.
No, like, you used to wear...
Is that on the coast?
I believe so.
What is Britain?
You know those bricks?
Heard of it.
If you
All
must,
of their houses were made of bricks.
if you must bring up his physicality, we are known as beastkin.
They play cricket.
Have to have it.
Cannon!
Cannon.
And it's real. That's amazing.
All of their...
So we go to
Everything
the
is
bar, the rusty shovel. Maybe
It's not
ask
Britain,
around.
it's a brickin'. Everything is just made of bricks.
Oh, I see.
The twiggy itch.
The twiggy itch.
The itchy twig.
Oh, my goodness.
Loot.
She's walked off.
Oh, good lord, never mind. She's not here anymore.
She's gone. She vanished.
Is anyone here familiar with this city?
Not at all. Never been here before.
I've passed by it, but not a whole lot.
Definitely not at all.
Now, when you say that, the clockwork golem comes walking down the hallway, and he holds up this scroll, and it's like a,
I'll take it.
it's like a yellow pages type thing.
Aw,
Handy.
he's so useful.
Well, there you go.
We should name him Handy.
Are you capable of speech, little geared one?
He looks at you and looks like, you know how a dog tilts her head with the wide eyes.
But just springs fall out of his neck.
Dirty.
Dirty.
Terry.
Harry.
Terry.
Well, I'll follow your pages, sir. Where do you think we should go with your yellow pages over there?
Actually, Draxun, you seem to be somebody who would know their way around the more ruckus neighborhoods of cities.
I get along with many different types of people.
Why don't we follow your lead in finding us the most popular place?
But if it gets too crowded, you should stand on her
Most
shoulders.
popular place.
I'm looking for the
Because of
commoner's opinion of our political intrigues.
We do need to walk a very careful line with that as to those contracts we just signed.
Why don't we just go to that place that...
Well, we got the rusty shovel.
Loot?
We got the itchy twig.
Itchy twigs.
Oh, never mind. That's way back there.
That's back in clay
I'm
weight.
still feeling the effects from the itchy twig. My apologies.
all the boat.
You drank more than twice your body weight.
I'm still trying to get the flute to work correctly from the ordeal.
Or we could go to the place Loot told us we should go. Because, I mean, that probably has a whole bunch of people there.
True, but I figure we'll want to go there later to see
Alec,
it
as
before.
I've said in the last week, bartenders have more knowings of the comings and goings of a city than the mayors do.
Definitely the rusty shovel it is.
All right.
To the rusty shovel.
To the rusty shovel.
So you guys hop on the monorail, and It takes you back to the center of town, and
We have our Orca punch cards.
as you, yeah, you got your hunter stones. What operates it?
Oh, nice.
You get off, and there's a guard, like 2 guards guarding the entrance of this place, and nobody else seems to be going on and off the monorail station. And as you walk out, the streets are kind of cobblestone and muddied and in disrepair, and these tall buildings kind of come up on either side of you, and they're kind of crooked and leaning with smoke and steam pouring out the sides of them, and the streets are extremely busy. And the guard says, where are you headed?
To the
Rusty
Rusty
Shovel.
Shovel Inn?
Why would you want to go to a place like that?
Because we're hunters.
Well, obviously you're using the monorail.
Yeah.
You're either hunters or politicians, and you don't look like politicians.
I was thirsty. I heard the Rusty
Thank
Shovel's
you.
got a place so you can have a drink and relax.
We're looking for information. We heard there are bartenders at this bar.
Well, there are in most taverns.
Yes.
I mean, you have 600 probably taverns in the city, and you choose the Rusty Shovel.
We
Anyways,
have a connection there.
It's
We
a starting point.
if you head down to the harbor, it's near there. You can't miss it. There's usually a fight or two going on outside.
One of those.
Can we use the monorail?
Okay.
Do you know of any other... What is the most popular place in this town to get a drink? What's the best drink and food at in this place?
Well, the Silver Dragon, of course.
The Silver Dragon.
Yeah, that's where all the rich people go.
Ooh.
So none
Did hit that up.
that is honest.
Like all the rich people and just the nobles, or is commoners allowed in there too? Or peasants, as you'd call it, whatever you want to say. I mean, is it open public
I
place?
wouldn't worry
Or...
about it.
Rich
You have
people never
hunter
tell the
stones, I'm
truth.
assuming you can get anywhere.
Oh, I'm sure we can. I'm
Rusty Shovel.
I'm trying to stay away from place with peasants and everything, so I'm just asking. Just 'cause,
Well,
you know,
let's
that-
just say their lunches are the most expensive in town.
Okay.
So Rusty Shovel.
I don't truly, for a change, mean this in a derogatory sense, but none of you are dressed to get into such an establishment.
The guy looks
Well, that's
at
fair.
you.
What? I only
He's
have like 2 stab wounds.
He's got a point. You might want to go shopping.
Oh.
Uh,
You've seen you. This is the guy, the guard, or is this the guy on the monorail? Okay, so you see when the council and such that come and go on the monorail. You seem like a man who knows things about the city. Where would the council members frequent? What sort of place would they go? I mean, other than bars, anywhere.
Did you ride the monorail?
Yes.
How would you like me telling you or people your business?
Good man.
Second question for you, good sir. If I was one of the... How about the working class? Farmers, so forth.
they don't.
Business, small business owners, where do they like to
You
go?
Pick one of the handful of the pubs here. I mean, the taverns.
The Rusty
are-
Shovel.
You can go to the Crooked Kraken or the
The Crooked Kraken?
Crooked Kraken or the
Kirk.
or the Fuzzy Buzzard.
The Fuzzy
Fuzzy
Buzzard?
Buzzard.
I really like
Oh
that
god, the Fuzzy Buzzard.
tongue twister style.
The Harry
names,
Robin.
don't they?
You pick any of them.
Without
The
In fact, if
Piggy
you could think of a name, we probably have it here.
Oh my god.
The Piggity Egan.
The what?
The Piggity Egan.
The pigeon pig?
No, the Piggity Egan.
She's still trying to learn how to speak common. Forgive her.
I see.
So without doing some shopping, guys, and everything for the Silver Dragon or anything, I say we go to the Fuzzy Buzzard.
But why?
Of all of the places, that's the one that I would avoid.
Seriously.
That sounds like the worst place to go.
I believe we would need a visit from a cleric before and afterward.
It's probably a great place to get some honest opinions in the area, though.
So would other places that don't sound like someone
Fuzzy
threw up.
Buzzard?
Yeah.
Well, you know, as long as we're topped up on hand sanitizer, it'll be fine.
What's hand sanitizer?
There's always the wizard's interest.
Wizard's interest?
Well, the wizard would be interested in that.
Decent place?
Just another tavern.
Let's go there. I'm thirsty. Let's pick
Since
a
that
place
one's
and
not
go.
too far either. It's just past the Fuzzy Buzzard.
The Fuzzy
Buzzard.
Buzzard?
The fuzzy baby. Live
Oh
here
my
for
goodness, I gotta
8
write these things down.
I'm on it, man.
You have no one to blame but yourself, Joe.
You did this to yourself.
Uh,
Well, I mean, that one doesn't sound weird.
Look who's coming up with 5 different tavern atmospheres in one night.
Here we go.
Improv skills. And go.
All right.
That's all this whole show
I
has
know.
been.
Yes, and.
All right, so
The
we
wizard's interest.
Wizard's interest is fine with me.
Yeah, sounds great.
Off we go.
So as you're walking down the streets,
Aw.
it's a good mix of people. I mean, it's, you know, you can tell it's a very diverse capital. Everybody seems to be fairly friendly despite the rundown conditions of the place. Everybody seems to get along. There's not, you know, people pouring out of the bars and fighting. There's
I will very specifically be keeping an eye on my belongings.
very good. And there's guards, speaking of which, that regularly patrol. And as they're walking down the streets, they kind of tip their hat at you and they wave at people as they go by. It seems to be a very happy place.
Someone's gonna try to
despite
kill
the
us.
kind of, you know, sideways leaning city it is that looks like it's almost in disrepair. You know, everybody seems to be super happy. As you approach the tavern, you see a large door, and above it says "Speak, friend, and enter." And you go ahead and enter. Sorry, I just had to do that. You go ahead and walk in, and there's just live chatter, and there's bar maidens running around and delivering drinks, and just behind the bar you see just a normal dwarf kind of bringing out.
How loud is the like relative white noise in this place?
It's not like it's not a concert, but it's chatter, lots of chatter.
High school auditorium.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
High school auditorium.
You've clearly never seen mine.
So I walk up to the bar.
And the dwarf approaches.
I will
says,
accompany
"Hi,
you.
my friend. What can I get y'all?"
I'm just here to buy a drink. I'm just gonna celebrate today. This place is gonna be so much better. I say it very loudly. I can't wait till the city gets Malladus voted in.
We don't talk politics in here, my friend.
Well, that didn't go well.
No, but everyone else still overheard it in the place.
Everybody goes silent.
Ooh.
You probably said it a little too loud.
Yeah,
No,
see, we deal with politics all the time. This is a place of celebration, and everybody starts chattering again.
Okay. I tried. I was hoping to start some arguments.
Settle, man.
And apologies for our friend there. We're all very new to the city.
I can tell.
Is there a place we could go to talk politics?
Well, I suppose you could go to the council.
Well, I mean, obviously. But, I mean, just for general discussion of such.
Do you have any information on the 2 candidates?
Oh, Alec. No. Okay.
Christiana and Maldos, huh?
Yep.
You want information from the dwarven bartender on the politics of the city. It's typical of an adventurer.
Well, I mean, you seem like you know a lot of things because you're a bartender, so
Well,
you meet a
that's
lot
flattering.
of people.
What do you want to drink?
I'll just stick with olives.
He looks at you weird and slides a glass of olive down.
I'll put it in my jar.
Oh my goodness. Hey, you're all filled up again.
Yay.
Go ahead, everybody make a perception check.
Not bad.
I always roll terribly when my dice run into each other.
Natural 20.
19.
9.
12.
You two notice out of the corner of your eye that there's a group of table that are you can tell they're starting to get heated now about some sort of conversation. And the bartender looks over at him and is like, "Oh, here we go. This is why we don't talk politics in a bar."
Yes.
And they're starting to yell back and forth, and they're arguing back and forth about the 2 politicians. And one guy grabs the other by the collar and punches him in the face.
We should probably stop
And the
this.
dwarf jumps across the table and like a ballerina hops across each table, and people clear away from him, and he tackles the dude who punched him and says, "Now get out of my bar!" and picks him up and throws him and comes back to the bar.
I'd have offered to help, but obviously you've got it well in hand.
I'm gonna follow the guy outside that got thrown out.
Okay.
I'll go over to the one that threw him outside.
The dwarf.
Yeah.
Bartender.
Okay, the bartender.
No, wait. I'll do the one that he hopped over like a ballerina.
Oh, the
And
one
punch him in the
two
face.
that were fighting.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
opposite one.
Yeah.
The one that got punched.
Yes.
So he's sitting there holding his face, and the other one's just outside the bar pouting.
Yep.
So,
I follow the one outside that's pouting,
Okay.
for sure. And walk up to him slightly, pat him on the back. Holy, been a rough day there, good sir.
Ugh. People get so serious about politics around here.
Well, what was the subject matter of this conversation?
Who the new council member is going to be?
Do you mind me asking why you two were... I mean, you two got in a fight, so what was the difference there?
Why I punched him?
Yeah.
Because he told me it didn't matter. Of course it matters.
Well,
He
who do
said
you
that
think
people
should be?
take
Or
It's
why
like
doesn't-
people who say that their vote doesn't count. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I agree, every vote does count, especially yours.
That's why if you have 15 minutes, I would like to.
Brought to you by...
Rock the vote.
he's like sitting there like kind of upset.
It is rude of me to ask, and none of my business. But who would you be voting for this town?
He looks at you. Well, of course, Malados. He's a war veteran. He
Yeah.
deserves a spot on the council.
And it's as simple as him being a war veteran that gets your vote, or
What,
Are
do you
you-
want some
are
human
you-
with soft hands or that's never done any work in her life? Living off her ex-husband's name? Or do you want a war veteran that knows what he's doing?
based off that exact description, I'd go war veteran too, sir.
He says, I've had enough, and he walks off.
I went up to the ballerina.
The one that got punched?
Okay.
Yes.
He's like, the dwarf has like, one of the barmaids has brought a slab of meat, and he's holding it up against his eye. It looks like he got hit pretty hard, a little bit of blood running down his nose.
Oof. I'll pat him on the back and say, sorry about my friend. He kind of started that whole thing. Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine.
What were you two arguing about?
What do you think we were arguing about?
Political stuff?
Are we really going to talk more politics in a bar?
No, but I was just wondering, I mean, who were you going to vote for?
Who said I was going to vote for anybody?
I mean, it kind of matters a little bit.
You sound just like him, and he gets up and walks away.
Yes. Nailed it. Perfect human contact. I'll just sit next to the paladin.
Well,
The
I
paladin's
think
just watching this whole thing.
so far
Why
we have
can't I
gathered
talk to people?
that the political atmosphere of the city is rather heated.
Why don't we just go outside and talk to people about it? They seem so angry in here.
Because I think everywhere that people are going to be angry. Because
I suggest we pick one and just go interview him.
much like 2016, I don't think it's something that people are going to be really excited to be talking about. So,
Let's go to the Beastkin.
16 candidates.
Shall we flip a coin?
Never
Let's-
happened. We ignored that entire year.
let's
It didn't happen.
go to a higher end establishment somewhere where
that might be
the
a very
more
good idea.
educated might go. People who talk about
The Silver
religion and politics.
You
More
actually talk with
educated.
their voices and not their fists.
Yeah, more educated just means
If-
richer, so their words are just going to be money.
If
Well,
I may,
guess we
though,
might have to slip some gold then.
since we're going back into Thraxia,
Yes.
the three of you are going to need better clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the three of you are going to need to talk significantly less.
That's fair.
I do apologize. All of you have proven to be
She's good at it.
When we go to the Silver Dragon,
Thank you.
competent companions.
when we go to the Silver Dragon, it's all you, buddy.
But it's a dance.
I've heard you're very good at it.
Well, actually, I
Well,
danced
not
with
so.
him and...
I know. It was being facetious.
It was fine. We won. Oh, no, we came in second. Whatever. It was-
Touche.
it was
Alright, so I go shopping.
Touche.
fine.
Go
I
shopping,
don't know
get some
what's
clothes.
wong. I've got a
I
hunter's
already
stone.
have fancy clothes, so
It's
I'll just
enough.
go into a room and put them on.
I help them shopping so that way they don't get clothing with particular color combinations that
guys-
suggest other royal
Yes,
houses.
you guys-
I would love to have this jester's cap.
As you guys
With the
head
danglies.
down the
Are
street,
you sure I can't wear this?
Yeah,
you
I'm quite
come to
positive.
a store called Fellhorn's
God, it's
Furs.
very jaunty.
And you walk inside this Fellhorn's
your
Furs, and it's just fancy clothes as far as eyes can see. And a man,
Francis's furs? What is it?
Fellhorn's Furs.
Fellhorns.
And a man approaches you and says, "How may I help you today?"
Is it a human?
maybe half elf, a little taller.
Are his
pointy
ears-
though.
Oh, no pointy
All
ears.
right. Well, apparently we need some clothing. Thrax, please. You're spearheading this.
He
all.
looks at you and he kind of pulls your cape back and looks. Very well crafted.
Fresh.
I don't know what's wrong with my
You-
armor.
Yeah, I like mine.
Armor
I'll
suggests
polish it even.
armor suggests that you're going into combat.
No,
He's-
armor means you'll die.
He's right, you know.
We should always be prepared.
What if someone just attacks us?
Do you happen to know the latest styles popular in the gnomish community?
Oh,
Trees.
let me show you something. And
I
he
trust
walks
your
you
judgment.
over and
He just brings out a
he
leaf.
whips out this kind of outfit for you, and it's like nice and purple and gilded with gold and
Ooh.
very fancy, and it's got a cape that comes off the back in green and
Now, Mr. Fellhorn, we are looking for something inconspicuous.
But
Maybe
also
not quite
fancy.
as bright.
I don't
oh,
I don't want to stand out, but I don't want to stand out, if you understand my gist.
well, I hardly think that a gnome would be easy to blend in.
Hardly.
I'm a pretty common species out here.
Ironically, he's the least of my
He
worries.
he like calls over one
Purple
of
kind of
his.
brings his eyes out.
He,
I
he
like
calls
it.
over one of his
Looks very good on you.
his
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
workers, and she's a tall female elf, and says, "Go help her, please." And she drags you off, and you come back in a nice gown. That looks like you're ready for the evening party. And
Perfect.
he says,
Ugh.
"And you?"
If I must. Just feels like a waste of money. I'm not probably going to need it ever again.
If I'm stabbed, this is gonna get ruined.
Right?
I'll pay for it, Taylor.
Oh, it's not a case of. No, I'll pay for my own.
If we ever go back,
dentist.
Zinzig is going to love this new
Oh,
outfit of
I
mine so
forgot to
much.
tell you guys, by the way, the old man, when you came, slipped you guys each 50 gold for payment for.
Oh,
excellent.
snap.
So,
Good.
That's good to know.
so he sends you off with the woman, and you come back, and again, she's got kind of like this red evening gown, long sleeve with, kind of long open sleeves. Again, everything seems to be gilded in gold around here, and yours is kind of matching, only it's a green color.
It'll do.
Weird dress
Does it fit?
buddies.
It's the only criteria.
Does it fit?
It fits. You guys look stunning.
I would much rather be in my plate mail, thank you.
Right?
But
It's really hard to sneak in.
I
that,
understand. We do what we must. We are hunters. We do what we must.
Though. We
So I
don't
will
need
wear
this.
the
though.
dress.
Why didn't we just go to the Rusty Shovel? I don't need to wear this.
I think I like my new outfit. This is going to make performing and being myself that much better in certain establishments. Thank you very much.
What happens when you need to put on your armor?
Then I put it on.
These are mighty fancy clothes.
I like them.
6 gold? 2 gold apiece?
Only 6 gold. Jesus.
I will
pay for
I will
it.
present my hunter sigil, and I will let him know that this is hunter matter, and then I will give him 2 gold as a tip.
Oh, that works a little better, he says. And he takes your stone and he goes over to the little machine and does what he does, and steam pops out of the machine. He brings it back and pockets the 2 gold and says, "If you all need anything else, just come see me."
Thank you, sir. You were very kind and efficient. And to absolutely not... She's still stinging a little bit from the earlier comments, Thrax. So as to be not outposhed, she slips 2 gold to him also.
He smiles
Thank
and says,
you.
"Oh, I love hunters."
I'll give him an olive.
I already walked out the door.
He looks at you like the oddest look ever and says,
I already walked out the door.
"Okay." And he hands it to the girl and says, "Please do something with that."
When
Let's go
when
in
all
the
of my
garbage.
companions leave, I'm going to ask him
Standing at the door. Stubbornly.
an interesting surname that you have.
"Oh, Fellhorn? It's not mine.
Gasp.
I read it in a book somewhere."
You wouldn't by chance know that book, would you?
It's been forever. I can't recall even where I read it, to be honest.
Well, I appreciate your talents.
Thank you.
I'll leave with the group.
Alright. To the Silver Dragon.
Why do people even wear nice clothes?
Adding to my equipment. In my
Fancy
inventory.
clothes.
Fancy dress.
Oh, it's
So
fine
as you
clothes.
guys approach, as you guys are walking down the streets, heads kind of turn, and the guys are checking out the women, and the women are checking out the guys. And they seem kind of like thrown off that you're wearing fancy clothes in this area of town. But as you go on, it happens less and less, and the clothes get fancier, the roads get nicer, the walls get straighter, the steam seems to be less and less coming out of the vents, and the smells of whatever was there kind of dissipate into more pleasant smells.
Before we leave the pawn shop part of town, I would like to look out for costume places, pawn shops, hucksters.
Yeah, you can find any of it. I mean, as you walk down the roads, it's just like store after store after store, and they get progressively fancier.
I'm looking for a place that would have either decently replicated jewelry or a place where I could get it for a questionable price.
You can try. Probably closer to the place you were just at.
Okay.
NPC time.
We're gonna keep you on your toes so much.
Oh, it works.
We can't.
Improvisation.
We cannot rightly walk into a place gilded without being decorated.
But we're what?
I'm good. I have my ring. That's enough. You don't gild the lily.
I'll take some
Thank
jewelry.
you.
It's not that I'm trying to gild you all. It's that I don't want you all to stand out like imposters.
But we are imposters.
I know that, Alec.
Maybe
We're playing a
weird.
game. It's called Pretend.
I'm not for.
For you, it's going to be pretend that we're mute.
All right, Thrax. That's a bit. You're talking down a bit much. There.
As you guys are
I'm
talking
pretty sure
about
I'm
this,
older than you.
you walk by this like really skinny building that is just enough to fit a door, and it says above it Lockmar's Jewelry. And it's like the sign's kind of crooked and the A's kind of, like falling off, and if there was lights, they'd be kind of flashing,
Oh, I love it.
Jacksoon,
Yes.
fancy a go?
Sure.
At your leisure.
So you walk in, and it's like a straight hallway with nothing on the walls, back to another like half wall with bars, and behind it is a large orc. And he says, "What do you want?"
This feels like a horror movie.
I saw the sign out front. I looking for some jewelry. Seeing what you got to offer here. Would like to look at your selection, good sir.
My selection, huh? I usually just buy stuff, but I suppose I might have something. And he like stumbles under the counter, and he's like, and he pulls out this tray of like dusty and like what appears to be stolen jewelry.
I'd like to make a perception check. Are there any other entrances or exits of this place other than just
Straight behind him, there's a door. It's like a straight through shop.
He just bought a hallway and then made it a store.
Not questionable at all.
Do you have
This is what I got. What do you want?
We'll take your cheapest jewelry.
I'm taking a second. I'm just going to look through the box.
He looks over like, oh, there's three of you now.
These are my good friends. Relax.
No, I'm staying outside.
These are my good friends.
never mind.
Relax.
Watching the door.
We're just looking for a little bit of jewelry.
In your
And as
dress.
far as I'm concerned, you only buy things.
I like the way you think, little one.
And I do slip a gold to you.
Take whatever you want. Just be gone.
Whatever we want.
He like shoves the tray at you.
I'll just take it all then.
No, Alec.
But what? Why?
Start a business.
Hey, I'm still holding the
Yeah.
tray. I'm still holding the tray out.
One familiar with the nefarious arts of the underworld would know that you would like to make contacts that are more valuable than just jewelry.
Well, I mean, I
Real
am pretty
quick.
familiar with the.
Yeah.
There's no contacts to be made here.
Well, that's
Precisely.
why I'm not
Can
making
you look
any.
around in this box and see if any of this jewelry just happens to be special in any certain ways? Have any way of detecting that?
Just make a general arcana check.
Can I make a perception to see which ones are actually
No,
real?
no, I get something in my eye. I actually can't.
Wow, natural one. Can I make a perception to see if any of them are like really good?
You can tell right away that they're all real, but possibly stolen.
So it wouldn't be a
Perfect.
good idea to say that we're hunters.
I will.
Does any of them, when I'm looking through this box,
Oh, there's several that match your clothing.
Perfect.
but does,
Yeah.
perfect, and I grab those.
Yeah.
But does any of them just give me an odd feeling? Like,
No, but when you pick up the one that matches your clothes on the back of the amulet, you notice it's inscribed KC loves, and then it's kind of scratched out.
this is perfect. It'll do.
Casey loves money.
So yeah, I grab the ones that match me and just put them in my pocket for now because when I went in there, I wasn't wearing anything.
Right.
So I'm not going to be wearing them going out from a guy that doesn't sell things.
Perfect.
Okay. I appreciate the discretion.
You're welcome, good sir. I'm sure we'll be talking again in the future.
I hope not. And he like
Only when
slams
I
down, and he like slams down this gate.
I'll just grab the normal ring.
And then he left the whole tray there on the other side, by the way.
So is he just letting us take it? I feel like it'd be rude not to take it now.
I think he's trying to avoid being arrested, Alec.
He doesn't know that we're not.
Alec, we're not exactly subtle.
Since he did leave the whole tray out there, I guess I will pour it into my bag.
Hey, oh, now it's okay. Now it's okay.
Now I have a gnome running around with a bunch of stolen jewelry.
What about
No, we have a hunter with a bunch of confiscated contraband.
This is evidence
Hey,
for investigation purposes.
you have a
I'm
bunch.
so glad I did not go in.
You know, can I have some stuff?
Yes.
You got the stuff?
Yes. And yes, I hand out and give options to everyone to have jewelry as you suggest needed for everybody
I'll just grab a
to
ring.
look the part.
As you guys are like doling out the jewelry, people are like walking by, looking at you like,
We're not doing it in the open.
what
I should have
is
stated that. I'm not going to be doing
happening?
it right there.
Standing in the middle of the street, just
like,
trying it
you
on.
get-
Hey,
This
check out
one.
this necklace.
Hi, is your name Casey? Are you Casey? Who do you love?
What do you love?
Did you break up with somebody?
Do you know of any
All
stolen
right.
jewelry?
Was the wizard's interest a upper end? No,
Yes.
we just got back from the
We
wizard's
just got
interest.
back from the
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
you're
So
going
we're
to
we're headed to
Silver
the
Dragon.
silver
Silver
dragon.
Dragon,
That is what I meant. Okay. To the silver dragon.
To the Silver Dragon.
All right.
Hoo-hoo.
So as I said, these buildings get straighter and cleaner, and everything seems, and the cobblestones turns into white marble, and the buildings are of like white stone and marble.
As we're walking, I'm gonna probably like poke through the jewelry a little bit and find like a pair of gold earrings and just put them on quietly, and then, you guys, how'd you afford all of this? That's an awful lot of gold in there.
We paid 1 gold. It's all
For
stolen.
all of that. It's what?
I found it all in a box on the side of the road. I don't know. I just picked it up.
But
We got it on a
you
tray.
weren't on the.
Aelin.
Ow! Ow! Oh.
Oh.
What are you doing to me? Do I need to go back and arrest that man or something?
No.
If
What?
you, hey, whoa! I'm still kind of a criminal, even though I work for the hunters in a way.
But you're a hunter.
Yes.
Was the person in there a hunter?
No.
Then how do they have all of this jewelry and it's stolen?
Yes. How do you think he got it? He stole it.
I found it on the side of the road.
We're arguing really
End of
loud
the
while
story.
we're walking.
End of the discussion.
This is not the end of the discussion, but we'll
It
talk
is
about
for
it later.
Right now.
She's kind of got a little snit going on as they walk.
Just out of public. Hey, look, we're ring buddies
As you
now.
guys are bickering, you see this really fancy, almost looks like an old cathedral, with stained glass windows and 2 large, giant humanoids standing outside with their arms crossed, and a large silver dragon that's like trailing up and wrapping through the cathedral, almost like a Las Vegas attraction.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Before we go in,
Don't have to go in.
for
This is
starters, none of you are hunters.
I'm just a bard traveling, having a good time.
You are a part of my entourage
Your entertainment.
as my minstrel.
But the dragon.
I would suggest
It's
that the
fake.
two of you remain quieter. You are not going to get. You are not going to. Aelin,
It's not that.
What? Sorry.
don't. Do try to not look like a tourist.
You tried. Look at that. He's even got a
As you
little
guys are
silver.
talking, the dragon kind of moves, and its mouth opens, and a cloud of glitter and
That's such a tourist thing to do. Wow.
You are not going to be able to get into this establishment
Sorry.
by
Okay. I'll keep it
standing
together.
out.
My family may not be nobles, but they were well bred. I can do this.
Aelin, I want you to focus very hard on the fact that we just stole stolen items.
It's not stealing.
Perfect. That is an exquisite, noble expression. Just hold on to that thought for the remainder of our time here.
Be mostly mad at him.
Alec,
Uh-huh.
I mean this in the politest way, but
Don't talk. Got it.
thank you. All right.
I'll walk up to the guards.
No. Alec,
You're already failing.
I'm not talking.
I mean this is a statement of fact.
I said.
I will very rapidly pretend that I've never met you in my life if you do cause a scene.
Having known people like him,
I'm pretty sure all of us are going to do
believe
that.
him.
No. Oh, God. It's like bringing cats on Ritalin.
My
All
father
right,
was a noble.
let's proceed.
So as you approach these guys,
Put
they're
your snooty voice on.
12 feet tall, kind of a paler gray skin, and the first one looks down at you and says, "Credentials."
I'm gonna show my my ring with my family crest. I'm gonna pull out my scroll of pedigree.
I don't know what a credential is.
And the rest of these,
My entourage.
he tosses it down to you and says, "Go on in."
And I will walk past.
I just skip along.
So as you enter in, it opens up to a large, kind of common area, and there's games of dragon chests and cards and other high-end gambling going on around the area. There's
Fancy gambling.
scantily dressed, both male and female of all races, running around serving drinks.
I'm gonna tweak Draxoon's ear and be like, "Focus."
And,
This
mainly,
is definitely where I
mainly
park
like
my carriage.
they're it's almost like silver chainmail. You know, like in fantasies, the less armor you wear, the more it protects you. You know, so it's like silver chainmail all over the place, and they all have fancy headdresses, and there's kind of magic powered illusions going on all around you of advertisements for local stores and all kinds of crazy stuff. And then there's stairs that go up in a grand fashion, kind of wrapping up, and there's a second floor with separate rooms of all different kinds of debauchery and fun.
I am looking for anyone dressed in the outfits or the regalia of political officials.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for any advertisements for our two candidates,
Mm-hmm.
or any particular groups sitting around a table not partaking in the rest of the activities, but rather just having discussion.
So as you look around, there's kind of bars at every corner of the place where people are sitting. There are these illusions every once in a while flip to one of these people making either Christiana or Melados making a discussion. Melados's campaign seems to be based on him being a war veteran, and Christiana's her having experience in politics is kind of the stances they take. But they're not. It's not like your typical mudslinging. It's very friendly. They don't talk bad about the other candidate. They just talk about themselves and what they can provide for the
what's
for the
that
city
like?
itself.
Amen.
There are, if you look around, you could probably find no politicians per se. Even if they were here, they wouldn't be dressed like it. But there's plenty of people who look like they know what they're talking about.
No table of legislators or anything.
No, no.
All right.
Yeah, and even like I said, even if they were, the politicians try to keep their nose fairly clean. So if they were in a place like this, they would probably try to be in a VIP room or secretive about it.
Alec, Jacksoon,
Yes.
would you do me the pleasure of going around and observing those watching our candidates and their advertisements? See if anyone is paying particular notice.
Can do.
Perhaps interest them in a conversation. Maybe a friendly debate. Since we now know that Melados was a war veteran, might be something that we can use to our advantage. Do I notice anybody who is either waiting around to play a game of Dragon Chess, or are there empty tables to play Dragon Chess?
For each of the games, there's like a little registration area that you could walk up and ask about.
Oh, you have to sign up.
So I'll walk up to the registry. Is there anybody waiting on a partner for Dragon Chess?
Oh, we can find a game for you, sir.
I'd be delighted if you could do that.
So she says, have a seat. And there's this 3-tiered chessboard with all the Dragon Chess pieces on there. And you sit down, and eventually a man of shorter stature approaches. He's a halfling, well-dressed, and sits down and says, how do you do?
Splendid, in yourself.
Very well. Shall we play?
Indeed.
All right, roll for initiative.
Oh, geez.
All of us.
No, just him.
17.
9. So you get first move. What we'll do is we'll just do opposing intelligence tests.
Okay. Do I get to
Or
add
you
my
could do-
proficiency
yep.
since I happen to be proficient in Dragon Chess?
Absolutely.
Are you doing
Absolutely.
speed Dragon Chess?
While
do you
doing
have one for Dragon Chess? Do you
yes.
have- okay, then just use that.
I mean,
Alright.
it just says that I have proficiency with that gaming kit, so I would
Okay.
imagine I'm going to add my
Cool.
intelligence plus my proficiency modifier.
There you go. So he says, your move.
That is a 19.
As you move the piece, obviously, does everybody know what the purpose of Dragon Chess is?
Isn't that a big thing in Gnomish country?
Well, it's a multi-tier chessboard that plays in the 3D. Okay, so he's going to try to capture some pieces, and I'm going to try to defend it. So,
Well,
I'm observing everybody else. Observing us.
I apologize. I got a lot of things going on.
yeah, you're
So,
good.
for starters, I'm going to send a message cantrip to Draxoon. I'm going to tell him to get a dark elf spritzer. It's what entertainers order when they want to look like they're drinking, but it doesn't have any alcohol. It'll also be something that we can actually afford here. So, order that. That'll help you blend in. And then...
I hear this in my head.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
And then to my partner, I'm going to say, I happen to be new into the city. I'm looking for contacts of trade and commerce.
Trade and commerce, huh?
Yes.
What kind of trade, he says?
Articles and items of the arcane.
And he, as you're talking, he makes a move, and on that move, he moves the subterranean road. He moves the dwarf.
You want to just
straight
pull
ahead.
up an actual dragon chat? I mean, I'll play you in.
No, we're good. But
Gonna be here for 5 hours.
You know that this was a horrible move on his part, because this was the old squig opening.
Play 5th edition Dragon Chess, I see.
Rudimentary.
Yeah. So you can tell already that he doesn't have a lot of experience. He says, "Oh, Arcana. And are you looking for iniquities or modern day?"
More so trying to gauge the atmosphere of the city for potentially opening up new trade routes.
I believe it's your move.
16.
He looks, as he's looking at your move, he says, well, that's interesting. Trade routes, huh? And he makes a mediocre move in the upper land with the sylphs.
It's the newer young Thai strategy. Though I do appreciate your very quaint strategy. The opening is unique.
Well, if you're as good at trading in it as you are as dragon chests, I suppose you'll do well. Go ahead and roll.
I find that life is about strategy in all things. 23.
He sits back, like, looking almost defeated. Why don't we cut to chase? What do you really want?
I am simply here trying to find whether or not the newly deceased council member will be a benefit or a downfall for my enterprise.
He makes a move that directly counters yours. Well, I suppose I imagine that depends on who gets into office.
Yes, I've heard that there are 2 prospective candidates.
The warrior and the politician.
I haven't heard it coined as such, but that does seem to surmise the opposition.
Go ahead and roll. He laughs. He says, that was not so smart on your part. However,
I seem to be distracted by what truly matters at hand.
he pushes a piece and you see a clear opening for checkmate. He rolled in that one. He says, if it's imports you're interested in, I suppose you would want to go for the one who doesn't want to limit who can come in and out of the city.
And who would that be?
Well, you do the math. The politician or the warrior? Who would want to keep our walls safe?
The conservative or the liberal?
Yes. And I see you have bested me.
Indeed, but it was a delight playing with you.
Well,
What is it that you do in the city?
me? I don't do anything. My wife does. He laughs and he puts his 5 gold on the table that he owes you and walks away.
I'm looking for political ads and anyone who's around them talking about it.
So when you're looking at the ads, it seems like nobody's really paying attention to them. It's like, you know, like infomercials to people. It's like they see them like 30 times a day and they no longer even pay attention to them.
No one talking about political things.
Not that you can hear. It's again, it's in settings like this. Unless you meet somebody, it's not just average chatter.
What about anyone who doesn't?
I'm just sitting at the bar, sipping my drink, doing a general observation
Okay.
to see, reading people,
Okay.
looking for any body language or looks concerning us walking around or anything.
Well,
or
when you
anything
order-
that would make me just feel.
When you ordered that drink, there was another gnome that was across the bar from you, and he approaches and says, "Not many people order that drink, unless they're performers."
Yes, sir.
Oh, and what do you play?
A gnomish beaver flute.
A gnomish beaver flute. Man, I haven't seen one of those since back in my homelands.
It is definitely something of our heritage and mainly kept there.
Well, that's just absolutely amazing. Huh. Well, what are you doing in town? I don't recognize you.
I am traveling as the minstrel to my good sir over here.
And you point across the way
Yeah.
and he looks over and he goes, "Oh, the beastkin.
Yes, sir.
Oh, very good. Traveling minstrel. You don't see many of those around here anymore."
Well, he pays well.
Well, I'm glad. I can tell by your jewelry.
Yes.
And he kind of picks it up and looks at it. Who's KC? And puts it down.
Why is my jewelry off me?
No, he picked up off your chest and was looking at it.
Casey? Casey's...
Your amulet. It says Casey loves...
It's a nickname she gave me back in the day.
Oh, she. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, she.
So how long are you in town for?
Don't know for sure. It's up to my master and what his business here.
Oh.
He's a trades and a businessman and whatnot.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right. So I don't always know for sure, and I perform when he would like, and he pays well. And that's pretty much. And I go on adventures and get to see new worlds.
Well, that sounds very exciting.
It has its days.
And here I am stuck on the lunch act. The lunch act.
Oh,
He plays during lunchtime
gotcha.
at one of the little stages.
I'm sure your performances are plenty good enough also that when some rich fellow like I happen to come across really enjoys your music, they may offer you a job too.
Oh, well, I appreciate it, but I'm plenty happy here. The benefits are nice.
How's the atmosphere around the city lately?
Oh, well.
I heard there's a lot of I've overheard there just seems to be a lot of political tension.
Oh, yeah, with the passing of the councilman, of course there is.
Yes. Was it happy, like, upset, depressed, or it seemed,
Oh, the city's split as it should be. We have
Yeah.
2 candidates, many type of people.
how do you feel about the candidates?
Well, if you ask the people around here, they're all going to tell you that Christiana should win.
She should.
Yeah. And if you ask the people out there, they'll probably tell you Maldos. As he points down towards the docks.
Right.
But that should be fairly obvious.
How do you feel?
Me, I have no part in politics.
That's how I feel about it, too.
I just play my music and I go home and paint my paintings and enjoy life. I don't think who is in charge will ever stop me from doing that.
Very true. No one's ever going to stop me from playing my flute.
Well, it's been a pleasure, sir. And he kind of lost interest and walks off. Are we doing anything?
Oh, this whole time everybody just sort of wandered off and left Aelin to her own devices. She has been wandering around. Somebody pressed a drink into her hand at some point, and she's just been wandering around and looking at things and taking in the sights.
After I figure out that
Trying to
no
keep
one's
the frown on her
talking
face.
politics, I'm just gonna go try to find her.
Okay.
Because she's the only other person that was told not to talk.
All right. Message cantrip to everybody. I think it's time we go interview our candidates. Aelin, you can tell from the sarcastic voice and the droll tone. Yes. So, unless we would like to watch Draxoon try to get some services on the house, I suggest that we leave the house.
Alright.
Besides Draxoon, he was a lunch crowd minstrel. Hardly worth your time.
So are we meeting up somewhere in here?
Yes, outside.
As we're walking out at some point, I'm going to run into somebody, I'm sure, one of you three, and be like, did you, no, what is she wearing? Is that supposed to be plate mail? That's not going to protect you from anything. They've got a clear gut shot. They could eviscerate you with, like, nothing. What is that supposed to... How is that supposed to be good armor?
Aelin, let me introduce you to a concept of clothing not meant to be worn.
Why would you wear... Not to be...
What other kind of clothing is there?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Is it like for dogs? Like little sweaters that they put on?
Are you sure? I'm sure they have openings here, Aelin.
No, thank you. Let's just go. Didn't we have somewhere to be?
Oh, I'm gonna go up to the lady wearing the weird plate mail. Just go, I like your dog sweater.
And I'm just gonna wrap her up in the waist and like pick her up and keep walking.
The lady's like,
What?
It's a compliment.
Oh
way.
Oh.
Oh man! All right, where to?
Even
To
if-
the warrior.
Even if I were to ever do business, I'm not sure I'd be able to here anymore. Back to the Capitol building.
Or we could go see one of the people.
At the Capitol building.
They gave you addresses.
Oh.
So let's
Yes.
go to the address of the man.
You guys pick. I'm good either
Whoever,
way.
whoever's closest, let's go.
To the guy.
Is there any chance we could change out of... It's so confining. Plate mail is so much more comfortable.
I will stay in this outfit and continue to be your helper, wingman on this interviewing process.
Perfect.
Fine, I'll leave it on.
I prefer that.
Can I at least put like my grapes underneath or something? I mean,
It is not unreasonable that he would have a bodyguard or we would have bodyguard.
Yes, I think at this point, Aelin, the...
clunk, clunk, clunk,
Clunk, clunk.
under my dress.
I will stay in fine gear, but if you want to be in your whole armored setup, that's fine too.
I mean, I
No,
have
it's
leather
fine. I'll
armor.
wear the dress. It's all right.
All right, fine.
But I'm taking these off. There, have your ill-gotten gains.
I don't even know whose ring this is. What does this ring look like?
And we're still gonna have
What's
a
it look like?
conversation.
It looks like yours.
Tell us what it looks like.
It's probably a wedding ring from someone. And it just says, love, Casey.
They all say love Casey. That's so weird.
Casey gets around.
Casey gets...
The K stands for Kevin.
Yes.
Yeah, that's yep.
He's writing things down, you guys. Oh my god. We're ruining him.
We need to
Kevin
find this
may have
Casey.
retired from here. We don't know.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
We don't
Casey's
know why.
married.
Look at all those rings. And
I think Casey had an
scratches on them.
affair with Kevin.
Oh god.
Oh no.
All right,
Well, I'll take
Two-
the jewelry back if you don't want it.
to
Yeah,
Melados.
her earrings.
What are you
Yes,
talking
to
about?
Melados.
So his house actually is not far from here. It's in the same district as is Christiana's. But as you approach it, it's a little more modest than most of the houses you've been walking by. It's still gated, but it's not quite as big, not quite as fancy as everything else. And as you approach the gate, this kind of like weird portal thing opens up that an eye shows up in it in the middle of the gate.
Ew.
And it closes again and the gates open up.
Nice.
I think we've been admitted. Shall we?
That eye
None
has
of us
one.
showed our hunter sigils, though.
Nope.
Maybe he knew we were coming. In an optimistic sense. Well, let's
Alec, after you!
go. Okay, fine.
was gonna
Doors
say, maybe
never hurt me
has-
before.
Maybe he has enough security not to have to worry about it.
As long as I don't fall over this time.
So as you guys approach the door does open with the same thing, and it opens up, and there stands a tall beastkin tiefling, very attractive, dark red, and he has kind of piercing yellow eyes, and he has an eye patch across one eye and a couple scars, but that kind of war-torn older man, salt and pepper, good-looking guy, and he says, "The hunters, I've been expecting you."
See?
We found the Sean Connery tiefling.
It's nice to meet you.
He says, "And you are Alec,
Yes.
Aelin,
Indeed.
and you must be Drax.
Nice to meet you.
And then Thrax, the one they warned me about."
Don't worry.
"Oh,
we'll
I'm
keep him
just
on a
joking
short
with you.
leash.
Come on in," he says.
Yeah.
I will go in.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
let's
we're
go.
enter.
Okay, he says, and as he comes in, he walks you through the parlor room. It's fairly unassuming.
Are we being serious?
And then he walks you into this beautiful shiplap library with a couple fancy chairs around. Says, "Have a seat.
I'll sit down.
I suppose you're here to find out if I'm the best candidate for the job."
We're just here to interview you
I climb up into a chair.
in the nicest possible sense.
He actually had a stool ready for you.
How considerate,
Oh,
sir.
that's so good.
Oh, that just went from the pug trying to get up onto the couch down to the pug just walking up.
Get him a little ramp. Yes, we're really just here to get this information gathering. It's.
We're trying not to have a biased
Nothing too
opinion on
formal.
either side.
All right, nothing too formal. We just want to know you better and understand.
Oh, I completely understand. I mean, the right candidate must be selected. This city means a lot to me.
As it should.
You will be deciding our actions.
So, let's get right to the point. How do we get rid of the competition?
Well, what?
You prove to us that you're the better man.
We don't know who the competition is.
Yeah, we're here to,
Never.
like...
Oh, you know who the competition is. It's Christiana. The
We
woman
haven't
who's
touched
never
her
worked a
yet.
day in her life.
I mean, she's... Well, we haven't interviewed her yet. We're here for you. What have... I mean, we know you were a war veteran, but what else have you done?
What do you mean, what else have I done? I fought for my country. I defended it. And I defended it well. I retired as captain of the guard. And I've been in politics for 10 years. You should know that by now.
They didn't really give us a whole lot of information on you. They just kind of said a couple things.
Isn't that what you do? Gather information, kill things.
We're gathering it from you.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Hopefully just for the former, not the latter.
Yeah.
Well, that's disappointing then.
Oh, you would prefer we were doing the latter?
Killing things? Or people, yes.
Well, you're the only one in the room.
What kind of people?
Is that a threat?
No, of course not.
Look,
Awkward.
you will notice that if you haven't talked to her all the way already, Christiana is not the proper person for this job.
Well, we haven't
Based
talked
on
to
the
her
fact
yet.
that she hasn't worked her whole life. And what else?
She's hiding something.
This is what politics do. They never
Hiding
talk about
something.
themselves.
I hear she's secretly worshipping a god.
Well, that's interesting.
I thought the gods were all dead.
They are. He says bluntly.
And where did you secretly hear this from? How good are these rumors based? I mean, this is hearsay and gasso.
They're from my men.
Are your men spying on her?
Well, what kind of politician would I be if they weren't?
That's fair.
Melados, you seem to be a man of action.
Yes.
Glad we seem to be out of an accord on that. How long did you serve as captain of the guard?
Oh, over 10 years. I retired. I was born a soldier, raised a soldier, and retired a soldier.
What politics did you work in?
I've been part of the local councils around the state for 10 years.
What schools did you go to?
No schools.
No school.
Does that matter?
No.
Look, here's the deal. I need you to go to the corpse market. Christiana is hosting a party tonight. We poison her. Nobody knows better.
Hold on. That's
And we make this real easy for everybody.
Alec? Hold that thought.
This is politics after all. You think it's all like,
legal things.
yeah, and like all nice and fuzzy like our little ads are at the casinos?
I didn't expect it to be fuzzy. I just didn't expect it to have poison involved.
That's because if it was ever done right, you would never know.
And this may be just politics to you. But we are hunters, and we do what we must.
Yeah, like kill cultists.
Are you accusing Christiana of being a cultist?
He reaches in his bag and he pulls out a religious symbol and plops it on the table. My men found this.
Well,
Do
that
we-
is...
Convenient.
Do we recognize what the symbol is?
No.
Aye.
Understand that we follow the law in as many ways as we can possible. Now, we're not going to arrest you for this. We're going to look into it.
Arrest me for what?
I mean, we're not... I don't know, like, threatening to murder
We
someone.
have orders, and our orders are to interview candidates. Excuse my colleagues for one moment, Captain.
Would Aelin recognize it as she does have proficiency in... Or
You recognize it as
religion?
one of the gods of light.
I recognize it too because I know religion stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not cult.
First, one thing at a time.
Just
We
have
will
to-
we will interview our candidates and then assess any criminal charges afterward.
Criminal charges like poisoning someone.
Yes, an attempted
insane.
murder would be
It's
one of
not
them.
poisoning or attempted murder if she's a cultist.
Correct.
But she
Murder
might
is
not
murder.
be.
Taking the law into your own hands is.
No. Your hunters have the right to kill cultists on sight.
But you don't have the right to
Yes, but-
ask us to do that.
yes,
You're
you
not
do.
a
I'm not
council.
asking you to do anything. I'm telling you to do your job. As a good soldier would.
We need to gather facts at this current second and not judge anybody.
As police do, we will do our work and figure out the
And we will
situation.
do it in an honest and above-board manner. And I
Well,
will do my best
Your
to
honesty.
not take this interview
I'll pat her on
on
the
a
shoulder.
personal level
What?
when we are making our decision in the future.
Well, I hope
Good day.
I
And
hope
she
your
walks out.
personal job. I hope her personal feelings don't get in the way of her doing her job as a hunter.
Like I said, we'll try to keep this professional. But do understand that we still follow the law.
He tosses you the holy symbol and says, "There's your law."
I'll put it in my pocket and walk out with her.
I do have one more question for you, Captain.
Yes.
Why the sudden change in heart from military to politics?
To murder.
I'm tired of seeing my city destroyed by the rich.
Oh.
I can understand that. Okay, I will leave.
Thank you for the heads up on the possible cultists. This will be looked into, and if it is true,
My
no
patients
poison.
wear shorts.
It doesn't really matter. I'm doing my job, and your patient isn't really something that I.
Have a
affects
nice
me.
day, gnome. And he walks off.
Cool.
That was weird, right?
Yeah, he rubs me the wrong way. I don't do underhanded.
Oh, what gave that away?
I
The
thought he was a
poisoning?
delightful
I
person,
mean, he
very
seemed
charming.
pretty fine. I mean, like poisoning someone at a party for attempted cultism just seems perfectly normal. All right, off to go talk to a girl. Hope she doesn't ask us to murder anyone.
We are supposed to put down cult members.
We don't know if
That
she's
is-
a cult member yet.
That is a part of our vow. That is something that we still will go and investigate.
So we'll go investigate her by talking to her.
But
We're not
if it-
just gonna flat out.
But if it turns out that she is a part of a cult,
Then we'll kill her. But we aren't gonna poison her at a party.
Yes, and isn't it awfully convenient that his men found this symbol? Who?
absolutely.
When? Where?
If
Why?
she's a
There was no
cultist,
details.
We can
Wednesday.
take care of it as hunters should, correctly.
Indeed.
Right.
And professionally. So
But we're not just going to go off poisoning people willy-nilly because
we're
some
not.
political
I
ass thinks we need to.
No one
well-
said we were going to.
I completely agree, but I mean, even like from my standpoint, saying this is me and I'm Alec, that was a little awkward.
Just because he suggests something doesn't mean we're doing it. Let him suggest a way. We can still handle
I'm sitting
how
in the
we
back of
want
the
to.
group with a bottle of that swamp breath and a vial of poison.
Thrax, you learn nothing. No, it's the fact that he would even
Make sure you label that when you're done,
suggest
please.
such a thing.
I happen to like Tom's breath. Before any more drinking games, label that.
Label that. Do not drink poison.
I say let's go speak to this Christiana and deal with this first.
Try to keep it a little low.
Right now, Malados does
Before-
not have much. of
Before
support
we
from me.
move to the second half of our investigation, should we not finish the first half and possibly talk to some of those who served under the dear old captain?
We could, I mean, if we.
As a soldier, you would think he would honor warfare by honorable combat, but if he is taken to assassinations, and he has served as a captain of the guard, I question whether or not he's more apt to the battlefield or the court.
And if he was a poor leader
Right.
in the ranks, he's going
As
to
you
be a
guys
poor
are talking
leader.
about this, another man steps around the corner that you didn't notice it, and he says, "The captain is a good man."
We'd like to interview
And
about a
you
few
are?
things.
Is this human or also
Do you
tiefling?
notice he's wearing the same house colors? He's a human.
I mean, that's like saying your favorite football team is the one that you're wearing.
Well, I know.
What
He's-
is football?
He says,
It's like a Giants game where
kinda
you
like
cut off
cricket.
someone's foot and then you throw it.
It's like cricket. In
Brickin.
Yeah, it's on the coast. Those coastal people.
Good.
It's
Good sir, did you serve underneath the captain?
He says, my name is Tyree. I am the captain's guard.
Did you find the holy symbol?
I did.
Where was it? When did you find it?
I followed Miss Ashglade into the sewers, and she was there with a couple other people, and they performed some ritual and left, and I found this leftover.
And how long have you been serving under Captain Melodus?
I've been following him since the war. He saved my life. I know that means that you think I'm biased, but I'm telling you, he's a good man. He would face her in combat, but how would that look when he just goes and beheads a woman?
How would it look if you're wrong?
It would look very illegal.
Yeah, I mean, like, you might be correct, and if you are, we'll prosecute her legally. But if you're wrong,
Look, I brought it to the hunters, and they told me to wait for you. Are you going to do something about this or not?
we're gonna go interview a woman.
Very well.
We will do our jobs.
I'll start walking towards her house, or wherever she lives.
Should we stop by the Hairy Gizzard and have a drink?
No, we're not going in that place.
We
That
can
sounds
be in the
gross.
Fuzzy Buzzard.
Oh, the Fuzzy Buzzard.
The fuzzy.
Yes, the Hairy Gizzard is its cousin tavern in another capital.
Hello.
Yes.
You have to make that now. You must make it.
Oh god, he's actually writing it down.
D&D.
Gizzard.
I confused the two. My apologies.
Oh man. Our tavern names are just getting closer and closer to that line.
Okay.
Alright.
In honor of Thanksgiving, thank you, Pokey.
In honor
Yeah.
of
Gobble, gobble.
Alright, to
everyone.
Christiana.
Yes.
So as you approach the place, it's much fancier. I mean, just like towers that spire up, and there's 2 guards at the door, and they say, "What is your business here?"
I'll show him the stone.
Oh, wonderful. More of you.
More.
Morgan?
Yes, there was some here earlier.
When?
Today?
Or why?
No, a couple of days ago.
What were they doing here?
How should I know? He opens the gate.
How polite.
Right.
So as you approach, there's a big courtyard, and these large stairs going up to the door, and there's benches around this courtyard, and there's a lady with a blue mohawk, golden skin, and she's sitting there, and very well dressed, and she says, "I suppose you're here to interview me."
Yes.
I'm really glad I left the dress on.
She stood up and
too.
she kind of curtsies, and she says, "I am Christiana Ashglade," and she sits back. She is very attractive, especially for the old man that she was with.
You are, at least for all appearances, not what I expected.
No, yes, I get that a lot. I'm assuming you're talking about my ex.
Well,
I was talking
I
about
mean, he is your ex. You can't expect him to have given glowing reports.
No, and I can't blame him. I mean, we were both at fault in our separation.
we're here for non-biased things.
And I have suspicions on why you had to preface it with that.
I mean, that's what we said to the other guy.
The other guy, Melodus. You
Yeah.
already spoke with him. Oh, okay.
I feel like I just gave it all away.
Hi, my name is Drexowen. You can call me Drac for short. It's a pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you too. And she kind of like looks at you awkwardly and then looks away. Like she's trying to be nice, but there's something like awkward.
I think it's her knees.
So how can I help you today?
Well, we're just here to get to know you a bit. Tell us about who you are, why you should be, the interviewer note paper. So, tell us why you want this job.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Right. If you were any tree, what tree would it be?
If you've already talked to Melodus, you know us politicians don't like to beat around the bush.
Why?
We're not sure. I mean, like, what schools did you go to? We're trying to learn about your past to see if you're eligible.
Have I not been in politics my whole life?
Have you?
Well, you should know that.
We know. We
What-
don't know a whole lot. We don't know a whole lot.
Woefully unprepared. I apologize. You must not have the best mentors then.
They wanted us to not have a biases going in. So we are here gathering what information
This
we can.
word bias, you understand that there is no such thing as non-biased in politics, don't you?
Oh, of course.
I have a simple question. What do
Yes.
you want for the city?
Well, I want the best for the city.
Which is...
And I hardly think having a warlord tyrant in control is what's best for the city.
Yes, I mean, we've heard this from him.
Oh, so you are biased. You have my
No,
I have
I
your
mean,
vote, I
like,
see.
politicians always talk about how the other person is going to do this. Why don't you talk about what you're going to do?
Well, you can look at my track record. I've greatly improved the commerce of the city. The casinos are thriving. There's more money flowing through than
That's
there's
what
ever
you've
been.
done. But what are you going to do?
Why would I stop?
So you're just going to give more money to people?
I don't give it. I just improve the economy. Do you not know anything about politics?
I know nothing.
Then perhaps you're not the best to interview me. I mean no insult either.
Did you go to any schools?
No,
Like
I don't
learn
need
things?
to go to school to understand how economy works. I was raised in
very
politics.
Oh, I'm going to die.
I apologize if I come across as rude, but it's economics. Supply and demand. I provide commercial.
But what are you going to do if there's an attack?
Well, we have a military for that.
And if they
And
fail?
there's been peace for over 100 years.
And if that fails? This is
If-
purely
if-
hypothetical.
If the world comes into war again, we have much more to worry about than who's going to protect these walls. Isn't that the hunter's job?
It is.
Correct, but it's your job to be
It's
cool
my
head.
job to make sure the city prospers. And that's what I do. So, if you want to secure my vote, let's get down to it. I need something from you.
Are you going to ask us to kill him?
Why would I do such a thing?
Just because, I mean, everyone seems kind of rude here. Not
Well,
that you're
we're not rude. We're just blunt. We have a job to do. The votes are in 2 days.
What is it that you wish we would do?
I have a real estate problem.
Please
Continue.
elaborate.
Yeah.
So, you may or may not notice on the way into town there's a large tower. This tower happens to be right in the middle of the commerce district I'm planning. The owners refuse to give it up. I need it gone. And I don't care how you do it.
The tower or the owners?
That's right.
Both.
Wow.
Do the owners have to be gone or just the tower?
As long as the tower is gone and I can build, that's all that matters.
Why couldn't you just relocate?
Because that's where I'm already building.
So why don't you just build somewhere else?
Have you seen the city?
Yeah.
The
You don't
only
have to
way to go is up.
Or find someone willing to sell.
just
Miss-
build on your house.
Miss Ashglade, would you please excuse me and my companions for one moment?
Yes.
We're just gonna kind of hobble over in a different direction, out of earshot.
We have two politicians, true to heart. I don't think either one of them is a lesser evil than the other.
They're both terrible, right?
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
So,
What are we gonna do?
it comes down to picking the lesser of the evils for us.
We should probably figure out if she's a cultist.
Aylin, you're not going to fix the system by correcting one tiny problem.
Everybody roll me a perception check.
Not bad. 16.
13.
18.
6.
So you two have your back to her, and you guys are looking, at them towards her, and you notice she's playing with something. And as soon as she sees you looking, she like stuffs it up her sleeve.
I'm gonna run over to her.
Oh,
Alec,
okay.
one moment.
Okay.
I'm
Hold
already
on.
over here.
Okay.
What's in your sleeve?
What are you talking about?
I just saw you made eye contact with me and you put it in your sleeve. Don't you lie to me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know we're in politics, but I mean, like...
She, like, slides up her sleeve and she has, like, a little bit of a rash. She's like, I was simply rubbing... you don't need to know about my skin conditions. But thank you for invading my privacy.
Oh, you know what else would be an invasion of your privacy? Poisoning you and killing you. That would also be bad.
You are ridiculous. Guards, show them out.
Oh my god. They just want us to...
And she walks off.
Both of them want us to kill him. I mean, at least he's not...
The guards come up to you and says, are you still talking? The lady asks you to leave.
I will leave the place.
I leave.
As we're
I'm
leaving,
going.
I very loudly say, well, if that's her response to any sort of conflict, her resolution sense is very bad.
Guess we know we're who... Don't know what those words were. Guess we know who we're voting for.
Don't assume for all of us, dear.
No, I'm not.
I'm trying to get a reaction.
So, now that we're on the street and in relative privacy, we're stuck with 2 undesirable candidates.
I hate both of them.
Our orders are to choose one. Now, unless any of you would like to disobey direct orders, we still have to choose one.
We also have orders to kill cultists, and she might be a cultist.
Might. Keyword, dear. Might. We don't know.
I say either we try to prove that she is or not, which would make it a very clear decision.
Aelin.
Or we just... I can't leave an entire city to 2 very obviously corrupt people.
I'd rather just
I couldn't vote for either one of them.
I just pointed at a random guy on the street. He'd be a better guy. He would be a better council member.
It's currently run by 4 very corrupt people.
At least one of them is blind and tells stories.
As politics always go, pick the lesser of 2 evils and roll with it.
Both of them were equally evil in different ways.
Well,
One of them wants us to
the way that
kill
I
and-
see it is which one will benefit us directly more. One, we could have a very powerful contact in trade and commerce, or 2, we could have a curmudgeon-y old soldier.
You want to hear my actual vote?
Yes.
Christina.
What? Why?
Because I said. That's my vote.
We still have to investigate.
I just gave my entire vote without an investigation. That's why I pick. And that's all the information I'd like to share.
Okie smokes.
He's an artist. I don't really expect that you would ever understand his logic.
What is he? You're just a teenager.
At this time, it's starting to get late. And,
At least Malodus was at least straightforward about his hatred.
Right? Why is everyone such a liar? But we don't even know if he was being truthful because he
you
might
know
have been
that-
lying.
You remember Luke telling you that you had a place to stay at the address on...
Did we miss her
The
show?
rusty shovel?
Yeah, well, that was where you'd catch the show.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, let's
You
go.
also have a place to show at, or to sleep at the address she gave you.
Okay.
Let's go to the show.
Yeah, let's head to the
Maybe she'll have
rusty
some.
shovel.
Maybe she'll help us figure out who is the better adversary.
Now, if your consciences are still at odds, we could actually do what we're good at and investigate in a more subterfuge way.
Well, anything is better than where we are.
But we should get Lute's help.
Nothing wrong with an investigation to find out more facts.
All I can hear so far is he said, she said. And neither one of them said very much that I liked.
With investigations not done, I gave a base opinion, all from just looking at the 2 from what I see. But it's always, of course, better to know more information.
I heard one that disliked us and would not be bribed, and I heard one that would owe us a favor if we removed an obstacle.
But the
Exactly the same
obstacle
thing I
might be a
heard.
lie. And it might not be.
And there may be ways to remove the obstacle a little more peacefully. She needs the place for commerce, not the people dead. I asked that specifically. So if we can figure out a way, gold, bribe, talk, sell, relocate, God knows how, it's possible to make a way for her to have her commerce without any bloodshed. And then we have a heck of a contact with a lady who is good at economies, which is good for a city.
Great, she's good at economy, and she also can't do conflict resolution to save a life.
Then she'll hire a general for the army that can. That's what good leaders do.
And what if all the generals are dead?
Why would they all be dead?
Because they all got...
First time she throws a tantrum.
I know. I gave her a hypothetical situation and she threw a fit.
It was an oddly specific and very particular hypothetical situation.
It wasn't that specific. I said, what if, the armies failed and the walls were failing? What would you do?
I heard, what if we poisoned you and killed you? It
There was
seemed...
that. I will say there was
And
that.
then you ran across the room and tried to reach up her sleeve.
I didn't reach up her sleeve.
You were
I just said,
kind
what's
of-
up your sleeve?
you
I
were
should have
rather-
showed her the holy symbol. That would have maybe given her an...
You were very, very aggressive. And
Thought you said
coming
yes
from
on
someone who
investigation.
wanted to be very
Nice.
aggressive.
Yeah. We were both bad at both of them.
All right, so what are we doing? Are we
Investigation
investigating?
in the morning after we get a night's rest?
Aelin,
Sounds like a good idea.
And after
What?
we investigate loot.
half of our group is contented to do no further investigation and throw our lot in with a particular side. Now, I am inclined to go with the people and the companions that I travel with, so if there's something troubling you, then I am absolutely open to any other additional ideas.
I think we don't have anywhere near enough information. I think this is
Right.
just... We've got to prove one way or another. If we can prove that she's a cultist, it makes the decision easy. If we can prove that something is going on with one of them or the other...
Would you be able to sleep
Oh,
With-
yes. I can sleep, as long as I don't have to vote for one of them.
Melidos in office? A man willing to put another to death with minimal, if any, proof. Likewise, you have the selfish child.
Baby.
I don't think I could sleep any better with him and his easy, quick poisoning, knee-jerk reactions as I would with a woman who might decide to behead half the city if someone takes away her toy.
They're both
I
polar
don't-
opposites.
I don't think it would be very much of a stretch for him to do the exact same thing.
I agree with that.
And there lies the trouble.
Right.
They both seem like polar opposites.
So-
She can't decide, and he's too quick to a decision.
Given that both of them are of equal evil, we might as
know.
well come out of this on top.
We
The
still don't know
jewelry
if
was
she's a
already
cultist.
stolen.
Oh,
we
and
simply
we still need to have a conversation about that jewelry.
we simply repurposed it
I fell asleep in the corner.
on the street.
We're outside.
On the street next to you guys' board.
Finds a barrel.
Yes. God, find a shoebox. and
I think
curl
we
up
should
in
go see Lute's show, and then ask her what she thinks we
I
should
think
do.
I couldn't possibly make any more decisions about what I need to do without some dinner and possibly a night's rest.
So let's head to Lute's show. We go there, if that's still going on.
Did Christiana have any guards?
She had him everywhere.
Coward.
Rough estimate of the number that we saw.
At least 2 at each entrance. At the gate, at the door, some patrolling. So probably 12.
So enough that a new face might be anonymous.
Yes. But she has a party every night. So
Probably why we bring that. And she's
I call
irresponsible.
dressing up as Romeo.
Runs to car. We should
Speaking
not go
of
to the party
poisoning,
yet. We're trying to figure
Right.
out if she's still a cultist. I feel like we're missing the point
I-
that she still might be a cultist. There is that small, slim chance that
Right,
she
but
is.
Can we condemn someone until we know?
You can't condemn on mites.
We also need to do our due diligence on both
Indeed.
parties. So,
We're
one
s-
moment.
So let's just go to Lute's party.
Damn it.
Let's
Okay.
go to Lute's party. I mean, not Lute's party. Lute's
She has
performance.
a party every night.
Yep.
Right.
Is it in her house?
yes,
And it is approaching nighttime.
it is approaching nighttime.
Are the streets nearly busy enough that if I changed my entire appearance, anyone would notice? Or can we do like a a beach dressing room thing where everybody just like surrounds me.
Pull the cloak up.
You would probably have to find a place to change. It's starting to actually get busier
Oh,
as night
okay.
falls.
We got an alley close by.
Hey, Alec.
Hmm?
Do you have a disguise kit?
Yep. And I'm proficient in it.
I happen to know this one song. I can play
Does it change your general appearance and all of your outerwear?
100%.
Oh, what a coincidence. Aelin,
What?
you did walk in your full armor, correct?
No, I was in my dress.
Oh. Perfect. Let's get you changed back into your armor.
Wait, why?
We're going to a party.
Oh no, you're going to make me be the new. Oh,
That's getting close.
not the. Oh, all right.
Do you have a full helmet and visor?
I do.
Oh, look, it'll be a costume party.
I'm very uncomfortable with all this subterfuge.
Well, it's either that or Alec paints a new face on you.
Alec looks really excited for a second, like, painting? Okay. Yes, fine. We'll do it.
Or I could just sneak inside.
But I still have to find someone to change. Can't do it here in the street.
Right.
I mean, I could, but it would be...
Embarrassing.
Well, I might get arrested for indecency, that's all.
Alec,
Huh?
I'm gonna need you... Well, I don't know. Would my clothes fit either one of them?
How tall are you?
Oh, yeah, seriously.
Yeah, how tells your character.
I believe I'm 5'8".
I'm 5'7".
I'm
There you go.
I'm
They probably
5'10".
fit Alec.
I am 5'9".
Yeah, they probably fit everybody.
Perfect. All right.
She's got some
Except
shoulder
for the
muscle
gnome.
from lifting a sword,
Okay,
so...
so Alec,
Yes.
well, everybody. There's this wonderful play back in my homeland. We call it Seas 11. And it's a very intricate and convoluted heist, if you will. What we're going to do is we're going to have you dress up as a guard. Using your wonderful talents in disguise, we're going to have you also give your dress to Aelin, so that way Aelin is no longer recognizable in her current clothing, and then we're going to have you also disguise some of her features so she looks like a different person. The two of us are not going to have any problems with that, as we're going to be... Well, which one wants to be the woman? A couple. I'll be better at it. All right.
You're awfully tall. No, you're awfully tall. I'm obviously short,
Well-
as you can see.
And he is a bard.
And he has a higher voice.
My disguises only allow me to look so tall.
Well, you did play a wonderful role at being in my entourage. So...
I shall be your date. Why not?
You are going to look like a completely different person.
Wonderful. Well, isn't that the dream? Everybody gets to be someone else for a while.
Yeah.
All right. Alec,
I don't know if this is my dream.
I mean this in the nicest way.
Just saying.
I'll just do what I did at the bar. I'll look around and not touch anything and not
Well,
say anything.
On the contrary, and this is the part where I have hesitation, we will be at the party. You will have free reign everywhere if you're a guard, so we're going to need you to do the investigation while we talk to the party goers.
I'm the best at sneaking. Don't you worry about me.
I'm so
But
goddamn
how
worried.
are you at investigating? Sneaking is great, but how's your investigation?
+6.
Oh, excellent. Perfect. She's going to be wonderful.
Wait, no.
She's proficient in chaos, so...
Indeed. And yet you're sending her anyway.
Because I'm the best.
So,
Like no one ever was.
let's go enjoy our performance by our fair loot, get changed. Alec, unfortunately you're going to have to miss the performance as you have somebody to incapacitate and impersonate.
But what if I only have knives? What if I kill them?
Use the non-pointy end.
But what if it doesn't kill them and they're still awake?
Then use the pointy end.
This feels so
Please,
illegal.
please don't randomly murder people.
I know. I'm not going to risk. Do you have any magic? that can put someone to sleep?
This is getting out of control very quickly. Can we please keep it legal?
We could buy some chloroform.
Please.
Okay.
You could probably find that at the corpse market.
Oh yeah, let's go to the corpse market and find some chloroform,
There's
and I'll
a
come up
corpse
behind.
market.
Okay.
Yes,
can we
there is a co-op
I'll buy
market.
some.
Oh.
Okay, so
I
you.
thought that's where she had her parties.
No, that's where Melados asked you to go pick up the poison.
Ah, okay.
Okay, but you need to be the distraction to get one of the guards over by the thing, because you're better at talking to people.
Are there guards sitting out by the house?
Yeah, and there's also an alleyway with like a guardhouse that you've seen people come and go from as you're standing there.
That's good.
Perfect.
So we'll buy some chloroform, or whatever it's called.
Because ad lib.
All right. Looking down the alleyway, how many guards are in the guardhouse?
The guardhouse has 2 guards stationed out of it, but there's people coming and going, and they leave and go. They leave and come back in normal clothes as they come and go. So it's like they're changing in there.
Maybe I don't need to poison people.
I don't like loose ends, but all right.
Can I sneak inside?
Corpse market is between the hairy gizzard and the fuzzy buzzard. The door is like, it's not very big. It's probably the size of this room, and the guards are stationed on both sides of the door.
So I can't sneak in. I can't like do acrobatic things. Maybe someone could distract the guards.
I can disguise into all sorts of beautiful outfits.
Are we doing this
Ew.
before we leave? Are we
We'll
still...
find a distraction that isn't that.
I heard you like Skimpy. Got it.
Skimp what now?
Dog sweaters.
Dog sweaters. Oh yeah, you could do that. I mean, like, what is? I don't know.
What are we doing? I haven't had a GM for like 45 minutes. So.
All right. So you roll a distraction while I go to sneak a sneep.
So obviously I cast disguise.
Hold on.
Okay.
Do you have bardic inspiration?
I do.
Break me off that piece of that Kleenex bar. Give me your food.
I think she's hungry.
Inspire! Oh my god!
Got some like food metaphors.
Give me off a piece of that Kleenex.
He's hungry.
Seriously. Next time I'm gonna grab something from the bakery for you.
I couldn't eat anything
Please.
today.
Alright, I play my gnomish beaver flute. And I play What Would You Do for a Klondike Bar?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, you
Inspire!
You're inspired. Let's try to break into the tiny house
And
where
I
people
cast
come and
disguise
go.
on myself.
Okay. What do you disguise yourself as?
This
Explain
is a
this to me.
terrible idea.
What
A
do you,
rather short.
I was gonna say it's
Restrictions of a spell.
Are some of us like leaving? Is it
do you
just
want my
you
assistance?
Maybe. I don't know what you're into.
I'm a shadow.
I want.
Would you like blonde or brunette?
I want a bickering spouse.
Oh, bickering.
Yes. All right. Naracus. No. Darn.
Oh my
Draxoon.
Jackson.
Draxoon and I are going to walk up to the guardhouses very loudly. I'm going to be... I thought we were supposed to be at this party already. You are continuously making me late.
You know, any man should appreciate his wife enough that you know you're going to have to wait a few minutes for me to get my makeup put on.
I pay you well enough to not have to appreciate or ever deal with you.
The guys are looking at you like...
I don't know how to handle you. I'm getting so tired of you complaining and bitching all the time.
Fist fight. Fist fight. Fist fight. Fist fight.
Do I not look pretty tonight? Can you not just appreciate the effort I went through for
roll a
you?
deception check.
With advantage because
I do this for
With
you.
advantage, that's fine.
What are we doing?
You're
I tried
rolling
to
a
look
deception
beautiful
check.
for
Oh,
you.
we're rolling a deception check.
With advantage.
Thank God. Ooh, that's so much better.
It's not bad.
What am I basing this off?
Deception plus 5.
Oh, shit.
22, so.
14.
The guards are like, no, you're not too late. We can let you in if you want.
See, the night isn't ruined after all, and we're all dressed up and we're here, and...
And always, we need a third party to come in and get you to realize that your talking is nonsense.
It's okay, guys. You don't have to argue. We can let you in. You have an invitation, right?
I would hope he does. He's the one that...
You didn't bring the invitation?
Deception check.
Advantage?
Yes, advantage.
Advantage.
Wait, we have advantage on this?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Roll it again.
Why roll it again?
Because you might get a 20.
No, we're going to stick with the first roll.
That was a 1.
22.
10. You are carrying us.
So he looks at you and... Honey, where did you put your invitation?
I don't know. I got so flustered. He was yelling at me at home. I'm trying to get my makeup on.
One of the
dress
guards looks at
She
you.
forgets
Do
everything.
you really have to be so mean to the young
Oh,
woman?
God. This is gonna work so well.
Well, given that her father had to pay me to marry her, yes.
Ooh!
And he gave you, what was it, 100
Look,
head of
look.
cash?
Just, he opens the door.
Two
Just
cows.
go in, please.
And
Are the guards, both of them distracted
Yeah.
now? Okay.
I
But
sneak
they're
in.
still standing next to the door. They open the door for him.
I can't sneak in.
No, they just opened the door for these two. They convinced them that they're supposed to be at the party.
Improvise,
Why do you think I
guys.
put on so much makeup? You're always putting me down.
Fist fight in the street.
To
Do
hide
it
your
now.
face.
I can see that this is going badly.
They're like, "Are you gonna come in?"
I can see this is going badly. So Aelin,
needs to get into the street.
Go.
Aelin is going to walk up and be like, Kevin? What are you doing with this woman?
The guard slowly shuts the door.
Get to a fist fight.
Deception check, all three of you.
With advantage.
Oh, God.
Advantage,
We were
advantage.
there. We were there. What are you doing?
You didn't want to go in. We need to distract them.
God. Look at that.
Oh, freaking natural 20.
Okay.
Same.
Nobody else roll.
We have
Same
advantage.
Nobody else roll. We got a nat 20. Explain to me how the guards react when they see you.
Walk away from the door.
I'm just trying to get both of them to look over at us, and I'm just gonna be like, Kevin, how could you? And I'm gonna slap him across the face as hard as I can, and then like try to jump and get him in a headlock and see if the guards will come rush over.
The guards rush over and they're like, whoa.
There's your opening.
I run
Go.
inside.
Stealth.
31.
By the way,
Stealth. What?
31.
31?
I jump at you.
That's a 3. You get in the door.
Fight with me.
As you open the door, you notice about 4 people changing.
I'm sneaky.
It's a door.
I'm sneaky.
And they look at you and they're like, they cover up real quick and they're like, "Can we help you?" And one has a guard's hat still on.
Yeah, I'm here to get dressed, guys.
This is the door that we were arguing out front of?
Yeah, this is the guard tower where they're changing.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into my clothes, guys. I'm late. I'm sorry I came in late. I was just trying to do a thing.
Deception check.
Oh my god, I'm terrible at these.
And I need you to make a grapple check against
All right.
opposing him really quick.
Oh my god.
Oh, gosh.
Natural 20.
Oh, you must be the new hire. Your stuff's over there. And he points you to the locker.
Oh my god. I don't.
That's pretty bad.
Oh, it cannot be worse than me. I got it.
Plus athletics or is it strength?
Athletics or
athletics.
strength, whichever one's better
It's
for you.
They're the
athletic.
same.
Okay.
That would be an 11.
Okay.
Yeah, you beat me by 10.
He like tips over and you guys are now rolling around on the street. What are you doing?
I'm crying.
Loudly.
The guards like don't know what to do and they're like trying to separate you two.
My
and they're
daddy
like,
never left me.
"Hey, just leave, please, just leave." They shout.
Makeup, mascara's running.
Do the message.
Fine, I never want to see you again. And I stomp off.
Are you guys okay?
You think blood running out of your eyes? I'm good.
But Cindy, wait! You ruined everything!
It's always my fault.
It's always me.
Just move along, please. Just move along. They say. Oh, and he looks at his other friend. He's like, "Well, Kevin, I don't know what's going on." And they go back to their standing guard.
Heaven never
All right.
loved you.
I'm gonna go to the rusty shovel, I guess.
That was incredible. I loved every second of it.
Got
Feel
you
like
in,
get
didn't it?
myself
I
into
totally
you.
thought I was gonna fail. I
Let's
only
just,
Screw
I have
the
a
rest
plus
of the
0.
let's just go ahead
should
and
go
do
to the
this.
prickly
by
pear.
the way.
guard's armor. I put on a guard's armor that'll fit me.
Yeah, well, it's there. It's for an average sized person like
Awesome.
you. So
I'm
it just
average.
happens. You rolled a nat 20. It just happens to fit you spiffingly.
Oh.
And you walk out on the yards and you notice a large party.
Wait, does my
There's all
AC
types of
change?
well, sure. You're now wearing heavy armies, so it's hard for you to sneak.
Please make your AC not matter right now, though.
I'm just gonna.
Well, if we get there, we'll discuss that.
Okay.
And you notice that there's people mingling everywhere, and up on one patio, you notice
I can't contact you in any way that I made it.
Christiana talking to a bunch of people, and off in another corner you see Maldos
You will-
talking to some other people too.
You get a mental message. How are things going?
And all
I am
the-
a god.
And all the councilmen are also around.
Oh, no. Never mind.
They're kind of mingling around. So basically, all the politicians are here, including Maldos.
Alec,
This is a bad.
did you get in?
Oh,
Yep,
100. Thank
I
you,
did.
Branch Corps.
But there's the council members here.
Well, we are looking for evidence.
The guard walks by you and is kind of wondering why you're talking to yourself.
It's entirely mental message.
Yeah, but she's talking to herself.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how
she
these
is.
work.
Oh god,
That's great.
awesome.
I told him I didn't want to leave those outside.
Which, by the way, an unarmed strike for me is 4 points of damage, and when I catch up to you, I will give you the lay on hands 4 points back.
Oh god.
So,
As you do that, I'm gonna be like, next time, just be a courtesan. We can get all three of us in.
But now I'm a god.
no, I liked my way better. It's just, it worked out great.
Yeah, and notice that you really
All
sold
right.
that hit.
We were
I
almost,
may have had some pent-up anger from today.
we were almost in the door.
I know, but we didn't want to get you guys in the door. We wanted to get Alec in the door
Are
quietly.
you guys headed back to the Rusty Shovel?
Yeah.
As we're doing this? Okay. So as you guys, it's getting kind of dark now. You're
Oh
just
god, we
kind of
split
like,
the party.
you're doing your best to awkwardly fit in, you know? And it's, as you approach it gets of course dirtier and dirtier, muddier and muddier, and crookeder and crookeder. And as you approach this shanty shack of a tavern, you notice people like, as you approach it, some dude like spills beer all over you, and another one like picks another guy up and throws him off the dock into the water. And
Lovely place, this.
and you approach the Rusty Shovel.
I don't think I'll be finding dragon chests here.
And probably not.
As you open the door to the Rusty Shovel, it's extremely rowdy and loud, and like when fights break out, they don't stop them. And it's just kind of a large open area with a stage at one end.
I was gonna be like clinging closer to him.
And when are you guys still dressed? By the way, have you?
I am. I'm still in the stupid dress.
Okay.
That's
What
why we
are you-
came back here to change.
I de-disguised myself with a spell.
Okay, so you're still disguised.
No,
You-
I'm
no,
not.
you're done.
I'm done.
I look like how I always do, a fop.
Okay, so as you crack the door open, like everybody, like one dude's like grabbing one dude about to punch him, and he stops, and the whole place is just like silent, and they're looking at you. And this little gnome walks up to you, and he's like picking his dagger with his teeth, and he's like
He's picking us.
picking his teeth with his
There.
dagger. Yeah, like, he's like,
Oh, they're daggers,
Weird
and he's
ass.
using a tooth
yeah,
to
they're
clean them.
daggers. He's using a tooth to clean them,
Yes.
and he's like,
Perfect.
nice clothes. And he's got like an oddly deep voice for a gnome.
Bite his face.
And as he says that, everybody starts talking in. What can I do you for?
We're supposed to have rooms here. We know loot. Friends of loot.
Ah, loot. Very good. Just take a table.
Marvelous. Could we actually get a room? I at least need to go.
I don't have rooms here.
Oh, where are we supposed to be staying?
At the address Luke gave you.
I thought that
But
was.
not
that's
now,
what's
it's a different
Oh,
address.
never mind
I
then.
need a shot of swamp breath.
Swamp breath. Huh, I haven't had that asked for since Gavin was here last. And he walks you to the bar, and he hops up on the stool and walks across the bar and grabs a couple things of swamp breath, and it's bigger than the glass that Gavin would have poured you. And he slides it down. And he says, "So you're here to see loot?"
Yes.
Ah, she'll be on in about 10 minutes. As he says that, he ducks as a bottle flies past him.
Nice.
And he yells something in another language. And Dragonborn is like, yells back at him. And he takes the dagger and throws it at the Dragonborn, and the Dragonborn ducks it. It sticks into a column. You know. It gets rough around here. Sorry about that.
Not a problem.
So, hunters, I assume, then.
I'm literally using Aelin to just
Like, using my sleeve, the giant droopy sleeve thing, and be like, you're fine.
I tip back the swamp breath.
Oh, God.
As he does that, the lights go dark and dim, the gas lamps go down, and of course, here comes Lute, and she plays, and everybody just stops, and it's silent, and Lute sings her song and plays her lute, and for a moment of peace, everybody's just in awe. And she gets done, and as soon as she gets done, another tanker goes flying across the room and clunks an orc in the head as he leaps across and tackles the elf that threw it, and they start boxing on the ground. And Lute walks down and sits at the bar and says, "Well, how did the investigations go?"
Terribly. Could I get some mead, please, from the bartender?
ongoing.
He sets the meat down.
I was just gonna say, still going.
Oh, what did you find out?
Many interesting.
Politics are assholes.
Well, yes, of course. Let me assume they asked you to assassinate somebody or take out something or do you a favor.
Several, yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured would happen.
Yeah.
She seems to not be fazed by that conversation. They are animals, all of them. So what is it? Who's right for the job?
Neither of them. Cheers.
Good answer. It seems like you're not telling me the whole story, though. What did you find out?
I would like to insight check to see if this is actually loot.
Okay.
That is a natural 2.
Well, I mean, it was kind of.
I am busy dodging things flying through the air.
As you're trying to look under her mask to make sure it's her, like a plate whizzes by your ear and you kind of duck behind Aelin again.
See, right about now, all that plate mail and my shield would be very useful, wouldn't
Yes, I was
Yes.
going to ask you about that, Lou says. Where did you get these clothes and why are you wearing them?
Part of our investigation.
they?
Our
Haberdashery.
ways.
You know hunters are welcome anywhere, right?
Well, of course we do.
Yes, but they're also identified as hunters.
Yeah, there's other ways of doing things
Interesting.
besides just brawn.
Trying to figure out where you would have gone to.
We went on a stealth mission to the Silver Dragon. Have you been there? First of all, there's this dragon, and it's so beautiful, and it moves. And then the people inside are all dressed in these crazy costumes, and they've got on mail and like plate, and it barely covers anything. And don't worry, Drax was kind enough to let me in on the point of that because it was just obviously just there's no purpose for that
went to
mail
the
at all.
Silver Dragon for what?
To gather information,
Information on what?
people in the city.
So you went to a posh society club to get a biased opinion on the politicians?
Pretty much.
No, we went to a posh society club to gain information on those who are posh of this society.
Oh,
It was one of several places we went. It wasn't the only
I
one.
met a nice bartender.
interesting. I would have never gone about it that way. I guess you're the elect for a reason. She kind of rolls her eyes behind her mask. What did what did Christiana and Maldo say?
Well, I'll be straight up honest with you. One wants the other one. They both want the other one gone, obviously.
Yes.
But one's interest is a simple spot that she would like secured for business.
Okay, that would be Christiana.
Yeah. And the other one wants her dead
That doesn't surprise me.
because he thinks that she's a cult member.
And we're going to do
When you say
neither of
cult member,
those things without
her
proof.
drink lowers, and she looks at you and she raises her mask. And the gnome looks,
And it's Kevin.
Like it's like he
Kevin.
looks like serious. Like when she raises her mask, like she doesn't do that often, and there's trouble when she does. Cultist.
Possibly. It's all rumor and hearsay at
Yes,
the
there's
very
no-
moment.
Definitive proof yet.
Definitive proof. Define.
One of Malados's men supposedly found a religious symbol of one of the gods.
What kind of religious symbol?
Light gods.
Yeah, one of the gods of the
lightness.
light. And
You know your job is to take care of this, right?
if it's true,
Once
it's
again,
very convenient
We
that
don't
his
take
men
this with a light hand.
and we
don't-
are going to research it.
And we don't kill for simple accusations.
Also
She says,
true.
then perhaps I will take care of it, and she lowers her mask.
Oh no.
And she goes back to drinking. We are hunters.
Can I get another shot of swamp breath?
This brings you 2
Our
pints.
job is to put down any trace of the gods.
So far, the only person that's brought it up is him. So we have no proof
Then
that it's
kill
her.
them both for all I care.
We're working on the investigation. Have patience.
Wait. That was an option?
That was enough? No.
Then we find a third candidate. I don't know if the
It's
old man
not-
will approve of it, but we do not take this lightly.
No, we do not take it lightly, but we also do not take our duties lightly.
Once again, investigation is ongoing.
We're not investigators.
Pull out my
We
bottle
are-
of swamp breath with poison in it and be like, I'll be back.
She slams her drink again and she says, "I'm getting tired of this word investigation." And this is a side of the never said. We are men and women of action.
Stand down, Loot.
She pulls out her hunter stone and it's all gilded and she says, "You do not tell me what to do. I tell you what to do."
She wasn't put in this investigation.
I start playing my flute. Call
And
me
she
off
pulls
the
it
side.
back and you notice at this point everybody in here is silent.
He just
And
played
the
your
gnome
flute
is
in the
like-
silence.
Like mouth covered, like,
Oh my god.
and Lute turns around and says, "What are you all looking at?" And it like music starts up and everybody starts fighting again.
Don't want to be awkward. Let's punch this guy in the face.
Well, sir, yes, sir.
Ma'am.
Ma'am.
I am going to change now so that we can carry on doing our duty as hunters.
Perhaps that's best.
Ma'am.
Sir, ma'am.
Whatever. Alan's having a bad day, you guys.
I know.
She looks at you two.
It wasn't a rash.
Halen was
I know
not
it.
made for city life.
No.
Alec
You know
wasn't made for
Malados
people.
was a hunter, right?
No.
Did he fail to tell you that?
He did.
Well, he fought in the war. He was a captain. Before hunters were hunters. He helped fell the gods. If you trust anybody, it should be him. If my opinion has any manner in it. And she goes back to drinking. She says, "If you need a place to stay, the guild's not too far from here."
Can I see if I can go anywhere? Like other than the...
What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm just like sitting over here. This isn't awkward. Can I see if I can like get into places like around her room? Just not going in there?
As you approach, any of the side doors are locked tight. The only way in is through the front doors.
Or a
And you
lockpick.
notice that the doors at the guards at the front doors are definitely dressed differently.
Dang it.
Perhaps a little more elite. And yeah, I mean, you could try to lockpick it if you wanted.
I mean, I could probably do...
I'm ready to go to
There's
bed.
still patrolling guards everywhere.
Can I like stand with my arms behind my back in front of the door like I'm watching it?
Try to pick it with disadvantage.
Okay. I think I have like... What do I... my dexterity modifier with my...
Nothing.
21.
Okay, that was your disadvantage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope. 21.
Okay, so as you reach back, you hear a click, and you turn around, and you look at the door, and a ward lights up, magical ward, and that's where we'll end tonight.
Oh no!
Wow.
Oops.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We will be back again next week to see what happens to Alec and
I'm going to die.
our hunters. We had a great night tonight. We thank you for tuning in. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for the bits. No pudding got spilled. However, I apologize for that. We will be back tomorrow with Primed and Ready. Tomorrow night with a little bit of the Realms. Well, no, actually, I'm sorry. We are actually maybe canceling the Realms tomorrow. Stand by for the Primed and Ready to find out if we are doing that.
It's a mystery.
Thanks again. Everybody say bye.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Hey.